Night. Welcome to Bronze and welcome to ALR. We are here in Marina Bay for round 16 of the Formula 1 World Championship of ALR, and well, Bronze I should say as well. It's going to be a great spectacle indeed, isn't it? As just waiting for the YouTube stream to come up and then we'll be on it like a car bonnet, won't we? Well, of course you can see the track map is up right in front of us right now. Of course, if anyone who joined the broadcast in the last 2 nights, you know what the drill is. Let's quickly go through the track layout, shall we? 23 turns around this 3.1 mile circuit, the toughest test of all the season in my opinion. It is horrible. It is going to be sweaty as well, and it is going to be brutal, isn't it? Anyone who's not for the faint-hearted, I should say, this one isn't. You have to be a hardcore racer, don't you? That record around this circuit, there was not one set by Bronze, because this is the first time that Bronze has ever participated in the as I participated in the Singapore Grand Prix. That this was not on the calendar last season, was it? So yeah, this is going to be a new, well, it ain't going to be new for the drivers because a lot of drivers were already raced on this circuit anyway, but it's going to be an unknown for ALR Bronze, of course, so isn't it? Right then, let's quickly go through the drivers and the constructors standing, shall we? Whilst I have got a, because the drivers are ready to go, goodness me, then they're very much on it like a, well, they're on like a car bonnet, goodness gracious me. Right then, in the Drivers' Championship, velocity at the moment, they're looking as strong as always, isn't it? And last week in I was going to say Imola, of course, if only. Last week in Monza, what a race it was. Goodness me, we had a Williams one too. It was Nunda with his first ever race win as well. And it was, of course, his second pole position as well. And he won it from pole position to checker flag, but it really wasn't that simple, was it? As he had all kinds of shenanigans at turn 1. But in all those shenanigans, it was velocity that has extended his lead now to 81 points then. And now, so velocity in second position is 109 points in front of Newman in third position as well. Newman is 28 points behind Energetics. In the fourth position, Nunda has just jumped up into fourth position as well. Mike is on a bit of a he did really well in that silver last night, didn't he? But in bronze he's struggling. Well, can he stop himself from free falling down the championship? Forza in sixth position there, Curly in seventh, Sean Hammers there since his return has been absolutely on fine form, hasn't he? He's now up to 8th then. Ayrton in ninth position there, him and Nunda the most improved drivers in my opinion this season, and Rembo in 10th for this as well, and she should be higher up the championship as well in my opinion, but unfortunately lots of if buts and maybes, unfortunately, for Rembo. Bradfield in front of swap positions there. Now, Brandon has also jumped up 2 positions as well. He was leading the race, wasn't he? If that safety car didn't come out, would be saying that Brandon was his first ever race win rather than Nunda. If buts and maybes once again. Diashi with another strong performance has moved himself in front of Gunnar, as Gunnar has dropped down into 18th position in the driver's standings. In the constructor standings, and Williams have now, with 1-2 for Williams, has now just really extended their lead in the Constructors Championship. 131 points now from McLaren. Now Alfa Romeo are in third position and they're 71 points behind McLaren and 204 points beyond Williams. Goodness me. Ferrari have now moved up into fourth position there with their strong performance in Italy, and Renault dropped down to fifth position as well. Haas status quo are in sixth position, and AlphaTauri and Racing Point have jumped in front of Mercedes. Mercedes has dropped down 2 positions into ninth position, and Red Bull are in real danger of being the lowest scoring team in ALR history. They need to really pull up their socks, don't they? That's the drivers, that's the constructors as well. Right then, we're in the session now, getting ready to get going then. As I've got the mic right in my face at the moment and I'm struggling to see. There we go. Well, to be honest, it's only a little mic, isn't it? But goodness me, I'm just focusing on it. But there you go. Does anyone else like to get like a bit of a boogie going on when you hear the like intro into ALR on Facebook? It's absolutely brilliant, isn't it? I gotta say, I started to get really jiggy with it as well. I feel like I'm in a club card thing. I absolutely love it. Really gets me pumped, doesn't it? For the start of the qualifying session as well. And that's why I'm always extremely happy, especially this season as well. Since we introduced that intro, I've got to say I'm a lot more livelier to begin the stream then. Nunda, of course, has got a qualifying ban for his misdemeanors, so he is going to be out of qualifying 1. We've also got the World Championship leader, Velocity, has also got a qualifying ban as well. Both McLarens are out straight from the get-go. And of course, Mike, who raced here last night, had a good qualifying performance. Mike did. Unfortunately, the race didn't prove to be as fruitful, did it, as he comes into turn 7 as well. In the comments then we have hello from Stereogram. Hello Stereogram then. And Stereogram was of course involved in involved in some great battles in Italy as well. Hopefully he can do the same again here tonight then. Ayrton, hello Sean, good evening Ayrton. Dave saying evening lads, good evening Dave. Gunnar saying evening everyone, good evening Gunnar. Mike is saying hey, hello. Jake Wilson, evening all, good evening. And goodness me, Dave has really let the cat out of the bag already, as it is going to be a wet start then to the Singapore Grand Prix. I have been saying about the weather in the first two races there, and well, in the intro anyway. Tonight I've decided not to talk about the weather, and look what happens. We got a bit of a wet start then to the race, and that is going to be very interesting as well. There's not going to be strategy calls in qualifying 2 then, so remember, if you get through in the qualifying 3, you must start on the tyres which you set your fastest time on in qualifying 2, which a lot of people will be a lot of the drivers will be going for the for the medium compound tyre. This is the yellow mark tyre which is on board with Mike right now then. So goodness gracious me then. So no strategy calls in qualifying. It's about being the fastest and getting out Q1, out Q2 and out of Q3 as well. Lovely stuff there. We've also got Jake Wilson, luckily we didn't get any rain yesterday in silver. Happy with third. Yeah, Jake Wilson there, of course, got promoted to third position then after his 5-second penalty was removed there. And once again, Jake Wilson doing a fine job, isn't he, in silver there. I think he's back up into third or fourth in the Drivers' Championship. And very much in the running for maybe that final promotion into gold there. But New Potato, I think, was driver of the day yesterday with his fantastic drive from 15th to 2nd. Brilliant stuff indeed there from New Potato. Really good stuff indeed there. As Dave saying, sorry all, I didn't realise my mic was on there. Hope you didn't hear my music then. I would like to know what music you was listening to there, Dave. Of course, I like a bit of techno. I also like a bit of Backstreet Boys as well. Then, so you can see, I gotta say, I go from one extreme to another. I go from My Chemical Romance to Spice Girls. Really, I got a very unique taste in music. So just watching Mike there coming over the Anderson Bridge as well. Serious Mushroom, evening all for the good evening all, good evening all. Time for the best league ever again then. Lovely stuff indeed there from Serious Mushroom there. He had a good race last night as well. I think he finished 5th, didn't he? I gotta say, I need to I gotta get my memory checked really. I think that I have memory of an 80-year-old at the moment. I struggle to remember what I had for dinner, which is the most important part of my life at the moment now. As you're just watching Mike about to finish his lap off as well. Sam, hello Sam. Gunnar saying sorry I brought the Irish weather to Singapore there. Standard stuff from Gunnar, and Gunnar also saying we did, Dave, but probably the best not to say much about that. So we've now come across the line. Mike has gone fast and said he is the first car to put the time on the board there, and he's done a 36.7 there on the medium tyres, Mike is then. So of course this first part of qualifying then, I wonder if Mike is trying to save us extra set of soft tyres then, or maybe he's just trying to find some grip there. Ayrton's gone fastest there in the Mercedes. He had a good qualifying performance yesterday, didn't he? Ayrton did in silver, and really showed that he's got some great single lap pace. Unfortunately in the race there it didn't quite turn out as fruitful as qualifying, but which is a shame now for Ayrton, but hopefully he can learn from that race and get some good points here today. Sarah Graham has done a 42.2 so far then in car 14, and Sarah Graham is just trying to find his feet out there at the moment as well. What about camera racer then? Of course, car 69 then, the Red Bull driver is then before tackling the final part of the course there. Turn at 21 as well then. As you can see then, this is the first ever night race in a Formula 1, wasn't it? Of course, back in 2008 was where this track made its debut, and I think this is the first time that I ever watched practice live in a Formula 1 event, because I think that it was available on online or something like that, and back then I only just got the interwebs, and I think that was the first time ITV did that, I think, and I was absolutely buzzing really to watch practice 1 and practice 2. Of course there was a standard thing today in Sky Sports F1, isn't it? But back then it was beautiful, it really was indeed, and especially if it was the first night race. Once again, Hammers is hammering home a good time indeed there. Since Sean Hammers has returned, he has been absolutely on fine for me, really has indeed then. Cummings then has gone second fast, and I'd like to see what Cummings could do in this race as well. Of course, I think he made his debut back in at Spa, didn't he? And he really shown that he's got some fine performance as well. Curly Red has gone 4th fast, lovely 17. Artie Wee is in 6th position at the moment there. He's done a 37.2 as well. You'll see a lot of yellow flags floating around on the track map on the right hand side as you look at the screen then. That is Of course, as cars then probably just pulling over to the side there and getting themselves sorted. Bradfield is going 7 fast at the moment. Good stuff indeed there from Bradfield in the Alpha Tari. Lovely stuff. And we've got a Haas coming across the line then, and it is not Rembo. She's invalidated at the time. Remember that Rembo invalidated a couple of times last night, didn't she? Which was a bit unfortunate because I think that she was there was a couple of laps that were really looking very impressive indeed. Then camera racer then coming into the final part of that one. I think we joined him earlier on this lap, didn't we? But we're just finishing off now as well then. As Serious Rush said, should have been third. Vtod did me over. Talk about teammate, talk about being teammates there, isn't it? Of course, I think the teammate is the wrong word, isn't it? Is that Martin Brundle said in the past you shouldn't really be a teammate, should it, really? Because you're definitely not mates, are you? But I gotta say, going back to the Racing Point from the silver, I think they've been fantastic, haven't they? The Racing Point team having silver, and possibly my team of the year so far in silver then. But of course that could all change because I changed my mind almost as much as I enjoy food then. So yep, it's probably going to be completely different by this time next week. But I do think that Racing Point have done a fantastic job this season. Diashi coming down Raffles Boulevard now as well. I think he's been one of the most improved drivers over the last couple of races, hasn't he? He's been really good indeed there. Strong driver in Belgium, and of course again in Italy as well. Lovely stuff indeed there from Diashi, and he is now coming into the final part of the course as well. Nunda Stereogram had a full qualifying ban. Trouble coming his way then, as we have also got Tango saying, how are you using the trap map? Using that trap map, mate? I indeed am, but I still can't read some of the corners there. But yes, of course, Tango sent me the trap map last night because I had no idea what the back straight was called then, and I should have got Google Translate up, really, shouldn't I? I've missed a trick there. Emerson saying looks like he practiced in silver last night, has helped Ayrton out there, as Ayrton has Emerson's liking to stir in the pot, isn't he? Of course, we try not to give anyone a unfair advantage there, but of course, I think last night it was a bit of a unusual development, isn't it? Because remember, the rules state that only reserve drivers are meant to allowed to reserve in races, but unfortunately we had quite a low turnout for silver last night, didn't we? And it was very nice of Farf to lend some of his bronze drivers over to Dan in silver. So good stuff indeed then. And I gotta say, I really enjoyed that race. I thought it was fantastic. It was a fantastic event, it really was. As we got Velocity then just cruising out the pits moment. We got Forza, who was just coming over the Anderson Bridge as well then. Serious Mercenaries said on GG to Bronze for filling out last night there. Yeah, I think Serious Mercenaries really stole my thunder there, hasn't he? Damn him. But yeah, exactly right, I echo that. Yeah, very good stuff indeed there for Bronze. Lovely, jubbly. Wilson said, watch out for the Bronze guys who reserved yesterday. They're going to have a big advantage here today then. Just watching. Oh, goodness gracious me, that Forza. And he slowed down the Alfa Romeo as well. And oh dear. So Forza was on a quick lap then. I think Stereogram was on an out lap, so that's not good at all. Stereogram there, who is oh dear, he's going to be in a bit of trouble there. Forza coming back in the pits, and he's going to be very miffed about that, isn't he? Forza once then, of course, it's very difficult. This is such a long lap, isn't it? So that's a set of tyres that has been burnt up and wasted then, so that is not good at all, is it? And that is such a shame then. Tango saying, yeah, the name does look gibberish. It really does, doesn't it? As Brandon's left the session there, and I hope that's I hope that's not in disgust about what's happened to his teammate there. I'm sure it's not there for Brandon. Hopefully he can get back in the session in a minute then. There's Nunda saying getting ready for his outlap, and he spun it. Velocity seems to really likes to get those tyres in a working range there, doesn't he? And really just working those tyre ranges, doesn't he? Of course, remember Fernando Alonso has done that before a couple of times actually on his formation lap. He's done it in Spain and also in the European Grand Prix as well. No, it's a German Grand Prix, wasn't it? Is it the Nürburgring? Was it 2009 for 2008 on the Renault? I think it was 2009 actually, wasn't it? But yeah, so of course they're really putting the tyres to work there from Velocity then. As Velocity saying he's not feeling too well then, of course. Remember, it's very difficult to drive at the best times around here, so when you're not very well either, goodness me, that is going to multiply it tenfold, isn't it? So Velocity is going to be at a war of attrition, not just with the car but with himself as well tonight then. So hopefully Velocity can push through. Remember, Mark Webber had food poisoning, didn't he, in the 2007 Japanese Grand Prix, where I think he actually vomited in his helmet there, which I know is not the nicest thing in the world. And then unfortunately young Sebastian Vettel well there. It's a sign of things to come, really, wasn't it? As he drove to the back of it under a safety car as well, where Hamilton was stop-starting erratically, wasn't it? And unfortunately, it caught Vettel out, didn't it? Of course, that was a very young Sebastian Vettel as well, as that was his first season in Formula 1, of course, when he drove for BMW for that one out, and now Roscoe goes into a very competitive 7th position. On that good 7th there for Roscoe, lovely jubbly. We got Energetics then, who's coming out of turn 7 as well then. As Stereo should keep his eyes open out from Sam. I think that Stereo might have been a bit slow, might have been just daydreaming there, unfortunately. So, Stereo Graham has really caused Forza some mischief as Energetics there has touched the outside wall, going into the Singapore sling, and that's not good at all from Energetics. I don't think he's damaged the car. I'm not off board for some reason, so I'm spamming the R1 button there, but it's not letting me off board. So, it looks like that I'm done with it then. So, it looks like that's what we've got to do. Oh, there we go. As it comes down to Raffles Boulevard, has he damaged the wing? No, he hasn't. It was just a light tap there, wasn't it? As it just take a look at Nunda, see if Velocity sneezed when he pressed the throttle there. I got to say, how do these drivers actually? It sounds like a funny comment, but I'm interested about that, because I got to say, when I was driving in the league race, I remember I sneezed once and I took someone out. So I'm not sure. That's not one of my finest ones, I must say, but that was way back. I think that was only my third race in league racing, so that's my excuse anyway. But if you do sneeze, then it's quite a knee-jerk reaction when you sneeze. So it's very difficult, isn't it, to keep control of the car at the best times. But when you sneeze, goodness me, I'm talking about all kinds of rubbish tonight, ain't I? Golly gosh, there. Oh gosh, I've got a lot of notifications, but let's pull them away for now. Then it's only work stuff. We got the D-pad master showing his arm out from Serious Mushroom. Yeah, of course, that is Forza going to be very unhappy about that, isn't it? Is Mike has retired from the session. I'm keeping my eyes open tonight. Is I seem to really not be on the ball when it comes to retirements in qualifying one then. So hopefully I'll be on the board tonight then. Let's just watch this. Well, we want points from you tonight, Gunnar. As Total Peas, morning. Hello, Total Peas. Dave Cummings saying session end now. It would be nice there. As I think that was a couple of minutes ago as well from Cummings, but he is currently 5th fastest, so I think he'd be quite happy with that still, won't he? Good stuff indeed there. And so we got Gunnar saying you'll take that too late, Dave. And we've also got Sam saying Velocity saying he'll be on pole position then. And is Cummings saying I'm about 45 seconds ahead then. As I'm not sure, is that the stream or is that just general? I don't know. I hope I end out of sync. It's really annoying, isn't it, when you're out of sync then? But there you go then. As we're just on board then with Velocity, as I kind of adjust my headset, as Velocity has gone fast so far. Lovely stuff indeed that Diashi is coming over the Anderson Bridge as well before coming down to Raffles Boulevard as well, and he's been and he's spun and he's in the wall, and Diashi there is put on the loud pedal too hard there, and that is not good at all there from the Haas driver, and that is I think that might be it. And oh goodness me, and Diashi there, I remember I think we had a spectator, didn't we, walking across the track there, well not across the track, along the wall there in 2015. I only remembered about that actually when Diashi was spinning the car back around there. Vettel put it, there was a fan on track, wasn't there, back in 2015, as Cummings is retired from the session then. Diashi, unfortunately, I don't think he's going to be able to get back out in time then, so that might be it for Diashi. We still got Forza out on circuit as well, and Newman is sitting in the pits, and Brandon is as well. Nuda saying that Lewis Velocity, sandbag master. Well, he's currently fast at the moment there by 900 of a second. Velocity is as well. So Velocity looking still as strong as ever, isn't he? Velocity is, and we'll talk about some of his season, some of his accomplishments over the course of the season throughout the session because he's been brilliant, hasn't he? Velocity has. I tip my hat off to you, sir, because he's been brilliant, hasn't he, Velocity has. And I think he broke through the glass ceiling around the Spanish Grand Prix, didn't he? Because since then, I think he was a changed driver, because he was very much about consistency, wasn't he? Round 6 came around, Velocity just absolutely was dominant in the Spanish Grand Prix, really was. The way he controlled the pace, looked after those tires, that was absolutely mega stuff, wasn't it? As Forza has damaged the wing, he has damaged the end plate there, and that is not good at all. Is this going to be enough for Forza to get out of qualifying one then? Well, it looks like it might be, because a lot of because we got Brandon Newman and Nunda, which is filling the back row as it stands at the moment now. Sarah Graham is out of qualifying as well. Maybe served his ban a bit too late then, perhaps. As I really should read the parish notices before it comes across the line. He is still in 12th position there, so getting through by a whisker there. Diashi, I think, might be out of qualifying as well, unfortunately. He has damaged the car, didn't he? Coming out of the Anderson Bridge section, and because of that, he is not going to be able to set another time, is he? Maz is out on track as well. This is Gunnar, also on circuit. And this is Gunnar's 76 Grand Prix star in all of ALR. Then there's a goodness me there. Absolutely fantastic stuff. It really is indeed there. Of course, we did put on the Twitter post about, of course, the bronze admin, which is Farfar, who started his 60th Grand Prix back in the Italian Grand Prix. Of course, Farfar's had 3 Grand Prix wins in his career in ALR and 9 podiums as well, and 4 driver of the day. So it's a good stuff indeed there from Farfar. And of course, that was just a little post to celebrate his career in ALRs, and also he's done wonders in bronze, hasn't he? He's retook the reins quite late last season, and this season he's just been very much on song, hasn't he? Farfast, lovely jubbly indeed. Then as I just take a look then, we got Gunnar saying, Darren, I'm shocking here, hopefully there's as many DNFs there as good on Mike Robert Point, and Dave saying the stream is ahead of the lobby. Oh goodness me then, that's not good. We have also got there is a time on the stream there, Dave. We've also got Sarah Merchant saying, you've got this Gunnar lad then. It's a lovely 17. Oh, it's because the spectators load in the session before the other drivers there. I'm glad that someone knows what they're talking about, because I have no earthly idea then. Gunnar starts us up now. We've also got Maz also on circuit as well, in the racing point as well, locking up the inside front there, going slightly wide out of turn 5, but I gotta say, Maz very brave there. He didn't even have a hint of a lift off the throttle. Lovely stuff indeed there. Coming down to turn 7, quite infamous for Hamilton fans, isn't it? As unfortunately Hamilton's had 3 really bad years down there in a row, didn't he? In 10, 11 and 12, didn't he? Lovely stuff indeed there. Hashtag Gunnar in qualifying 3 from Formula Geo. As you've also got Nuda saying, what is Velocity doing? Well, currently I don't really know what Velocity's doing at the moment, and we haven't seen much of Velocity on the track there, as normally he is quite comfortable at the top there, isn't he? But Mars is under, he spun it, and oh gosh, that's a very perilous position, but he's done a reset to track very timely as well, but he's got to get in front of it, in the way of Gunnar. No, he just gets out of the way. Good reactions there from Mars. Oh, but there's a correction of the car there from Gunnar as it's coming down Rafflesville by as well. Gunnar is safe anyway, but of course I think that this is all about track evolution, isn't it? About Gunnar just finding himself, isn't it, and finding his way then. And now then is Gunnar coming into turn 17 as well. Of course, talking about the history of the circuit, you can't forget about that corner, can you? Where Nelson Piquet Jr. crashed on purpose, and a year later, oh goodness me, Gunnar, my golly gosh, I gotta say, they're driving like Colin McRae out there. Oh, Richard Burns, fantastic stuff, isn't it? Of course, the legendary WRC drivers, and I gotta say, Gunnar has enjoyed himself there. He's got himself out the 14th as well, with a lot of welly on the on that loud pedal as well. Good stuff there from Gunnar on his 76th race start indeed then. So lovely stuff there. And that's the end of qualifying 1 then. I've got to say that session that was flying by there, wasn't it? Golly gosh there indeed then. And as I just Nuda saying that Velocity was running a racing sim out there. Velocity was in, so just trying to see what those soft cars can do on a multiple laps then. But I'm not sure if we'll see the soft tires in the race then. But perhaps we will. It does depend on how long this rain is going to be here for. Of course, then we are expecting rain in qualifying then, as my Ted Kravitz is in the pit lane now, as I really let the cat out of the bag then, and I love it. So brilliant stuff indeed then. I'm looking forward to the rain then. It's going to be fantastic there. Mike is appreciating Gunnar's efforts there. And Gunnar is through into qualifying 2 as well. Lovely stuff indeed then. Velocity saying, shocking, I'm really not on it. Did a low 34 in practice then. And serious motion there. Nice drift there. And it's Farf saying, don't forget, Sean, that I need you a driver today. There, I owe him a driver a day, I think. So just taking a look then. Now's the top then. Oh goodness me! Well, never mind. I was going to go through the guys that have just been knocked out there. Golly, gosh, there. As a goodness saying, he thought he was in the wall at one stage, but Farf said, keep that to yourself. Well, I think it's a bit late for that because I've read it all out on the street. Promise, I'll read the comments out. I read them as I go along, so I don't even so you guys guys could be saying absolutely nonsense to me, and I'll just read it. I'm like one of those news broadcasters off the telly prompter thing where I'm just going to read what you put. Right, we're into qualifying 2 then, and here we go again then. So then, I would normally talk about strategy at this stage, but Redbow is still thinking about strategy. Forza is retired from the session now, as of course he only just got through there, didn't he? As he damaged his wing there. That would have been quite a costly run there for Forwards are getting interrupted there by Cereground, but luckily no harm, no foul then. As just taking a look, there's one of the Williamses there as emerged out of the pits there. It's the World Championship leader, it is Velocity, who is emerging out of the pits as well then. And of course, I did promise you about a bit of a stat attack there for Velocity, but he has been absolutely mega, hasn't he? Especially, I gotta say, I kind of look at the last 5 races in terms of form. In the last 5 races, Velocity has been on the podium 4 times, and the only time he wasn't on the podium was in Hungary. And he's actually won 3 of the last 5 races as well. In the total season, he has, of course, won 4 Grand Prix. He's had 3 pole positions, but this is the big one. 11 podiums there in 15 race starts. And remember, Grant, he had 17 podiums last season in gold, and that's what winning the championship is about. That super scary consistency, wasn't it, from the Williams driver? And of course, Velocity also driving Williams as well. So Williams are on a very good season in gold and bronze here this season. I would say, they're not on a great season. Williams are in gold at the moment, but they had a good season last season, and Williams are on a good season this season, aren't they, as well? Bring back the glory years, Williams, which I think they deserve it. So lovely stuff indeed there. Yeah, so incredible stuff for Velocity. It's the podiums that he's racking up, though, isn't it? It is definitely really hammering home the pace that he's got there. But I said as of late that it's not just about the consistency, it's also about the pace as well now, isn't it? So those 11 podiums, that's been across the season, but the last 5 races had 3 Grand Prix win as well, isn't it, for Velocity? Fantastic stuff indeed then. If you just compare that with the rest of the drivers, Velocity 11 podiums. Next man is 4 podiums behind, and that is Energetics. He's only had 7 this season. I say only 7, that's still an incredible feat, isn't it? But Energetics has only had 7 podiums this season, hasn't he? So really, it's about what you can do on your bad days, isn't it? And I think Velocity has minimised the bad days. For example, like Hungary, where he finished in a very decent 6th position there. So that is exactly it. Remember the Dutch Grand Prix as well, where he was very in the mid pack as well. But he did a very good job there too. I think he salvaged a podium in that race, didn't he? If I'm not very much mistaken. No, he didn't. He came 5th in the end. But he did get fast up as well. And I think that was still a good 10 points on the board, wasn't it, for Velocity? And that is why he is the championship leader, isn't it? About consistency. Now he's got the whole package together, and he has got the consistency and the race wins to boot as well. Fantastic stuff indeed there. As Serious was saying, unless you're consistently last, of course. Yes, which is definitely what I used to do when I was driving, which is why I was relegated. Well, I would say relegated to the commentary box. Well, I would say I like to say promoted then, as I don't have to worry about practice or anything like that anymore. I could just chill until the stream starts about 25 past then, and then really just make sure that my notes are all up together, and it's usually just one word, and that word is Velocity. That word is Velocity, or a phrase like Velocity is leading the championship, and then just go from there really. But yeah, these guys have been pounding around doing the practice. You may see in the comments there that Velocity in practice was talking about how he was doing 34s there, wasn't he, in practice? He is feeling a bit under the weather tonight though, isn't he, at Velocities? But he's still at the moment the benchmark of the field at the moment then, isn't it? So that's still quite scary stuff indeed then. And Nunda said, by the way, I'm a race winner as well there. Yes indeed, Nunda, of course, the winner of the Italian Grand Prix just over a week ago. Rembo's gone second fastest. Good stuff indeed. And Energetic has now got second fastest on the medium tyre as well. Yes, Nunda won the race last night. He's a 2-time pole sitter, isn't he? Nunda is now, and a 1-time race winner. Good stuff indeed there for Nunda. Let's see what, and he's very handy in the wet as well. And Nunda has said so. Maybe he might be looking forward to a wet start to the race then. Curly Red has gone third fastest now in the racing point. Lovely stuff indeed there. Mike has put in a time of a 36.9 there. I think he can go quicker in that McLaren. They're all on the medium tyres, apart from Velocity. So interesting stuff then. Maybe they don't believe about the weather radar. Maz has gone into 7th fastest moment. Cummings is just 5th fastest, also on the soft tyre as well. Bradfield is just gone into 3rd position as well, as they're coming through thick and fast now. And it's oh goodness me, there was a bit of side by side action, wasn't it? On board Gunnar, and I've got to say, I remember on Sunday, Nigel's rear end was very light as a feather, wasn't it? I hope Gunnar ain't got the same problem there, because it's going to be a very long race for Gunnar. He has done a 38 so far in the Red Bull as well. I wonder if these medium tyre runs is actually just to try and get a feel of the car, isn't it? Before they go for broke on the soft tyres, perhaps. Just watching Mike as well, and Mike looks like he is on very low fuel, so he's going to have to come back in the pit, I think. Here comes Sean Hammers, and I've got to say, Sean Hammers been really good indeed then. Cheers much, and that's why I love Tuesday. Done my race, pressure off that. As Nunda said, Q3 ban there for Velocity, indeed it is there. So yeah, the Velocity unfortunately does get a Q3 ban, but that's why we did our little piece on the World Champion in qualifying too, of course. So that does open up the door for someone else to get pole position, but of course the man who's been on pole position the most this season is Energetics. He's had 5 pole positions this season, and I've already mentioned now that which is exactly the same amount as both Williams pair. Velocity on 3 podium positions, whilst Nunda on 2 pole positions then. So got to say that they're not really sharing the love, is it, those 2 teams, aren't they? Oh, what's going on in the foreground there? And well, I'm not even sure what's going on in the foreground there, but Cummings has had a problem there, and Bradfield has also had a problem there as well. I'm not sure if they've collected each other or what then, of course. So we've had a lot of cars crashing there before. Bradfield needs to get out there quickly, because he's going to be disqualified for parking in a dangerous position there, and he's just letting everyone go then. So I think that's very good driving actually there from Bradfield. Lovely stuff indeed there. But yeah, we've had instances there before, haven't we? Sean Hammers has gone 7th fast among that was Bradfield's teammate. Sean Hammers is. As he comes into the pit, said as well, Bradfield does. Yeah, of course, we've had Ricardo in that wall around there in 2013. We've had Bruno Senna in the wall as well. And of course, Bruno Senna, I just remember Bruno Senna there getting very unhappy getting very irate actually with the marshals around 2010, I think it was. We've had a lot of cars in the wall. I think also Lorraine Carter Kane has been in there as well. We've got Camera Racer there right on the form, right from the get go. Lovely stuff indeed there. Roscoe into turn 7, I believe. It is into turn 7, right over the curb. Roscoe is head, of course. I last him out for Roscoe. He was also right in the top end of the field, really having a good old squabble, wasn't he? Unfortunately, he had a problem with the parabolica, which means he was only got 1 point yet then, and I think that's like 2 or 3 races now. Roscoe has been very much on song, hasn't he? But he hasn't been able to get to the end, has he? Without any issues. Remember Silverstone as well, which is a shame there, wasn't it? It wasn't a shame either, was it? For Roscoe in the Renault then. So he's now coming down Raffles Boulevard, isn't he? Roscoe is yes, the only man out on track at the moment on a quick lap. Then everyone else I think is touring back to the garage as well. RDW is still in the garage at the moment, and Ayrton is also out on the track as well. He has started his fast lap on the medium tires. 7 minutes to go in this qualifying session then, as Roscoe, I've got to say, this is where we really get the where the tires really get warm, isn't it? Where the tires are starting to very much overheat, isn't it? And start to scream. And this is why that they do start to slide around very much in the final sector as well. Whereas a point and squirt sector, Maz is, I apologise, Maz was on a quick lap actually. He is now up in the 10th position as well. He's currently safe at this moment in time, but we still have Gunnar, Mike and Ayrton and Ordy Weed still to come out as well. So as much as saying, I bet Gunnar's been in that wall too. I got to say, I think that Gunnar does love to explore the tracks, doesn't he? Whether it's track limits or not, then, but of course that's how you get quicker, isn't it? By you find the limit, and usually that limit might be in the Armco barrier, but at least you know where the limit is, don't you? So yes, and of course, remember Michael Schumacher did that an awful lot when in his career, wasn't he? Usually in practice 1 or 2, he would usually find the limit, wouldn't he? And then he would know next time not to do that again. I think he had a huge splash in Australia, didn't he? In 2001, I think it was. It was a mighty scary shunt there at I think it was turn 6 or 7, wasn't it? Where he's barrel rolling into the gravel trap there for Michael Schumacher. But he still went on to have a very good race. I think he won that race, the 2001 race, if I'm not very much mistaken. I think he did, didn't he? Because Hacknell had a suspension failure, unfortunately, didn't he? Ayrton goes into 8 fast at the moment. Looking good at the moment, Ayrton is. And once again, just like last night, showing that he's got some very strong performance there in that Mercedes, hasn't he? Rempo's out on circuit then. She is on the soft compound tires then. No playing around anymore for Rempo, so she's was on the medium tires. Now she's on the soft tires as well. Lovely some indeed then. I've been in every war ever twice here at this stage then from Gunnar as well. And so Gunnar is sharing all his secrets tonight there in the comments then. At the moment, Gunnar is currently 13 fast at the moment. He is still in the pits though at the moment. I don't think he's being distracted by a Serious Mushroom there. So I think they've got a lovely bit of bromance going on there between Serious Mushroom and Gunnar. So I absolutely love to see it there. Yellow flags is fluttering in the sector 2 area. That's coming down to the Singapore sling. Lovely shot from Rempo's rear ring there. As you see that the DRS was very much working overtime. There's 3 DRS zones around here, believe it or not, around this circuit. It's a street circuit, isn't it? But having 3 DRS around here, absolutely splendid stuff. And they can only find one place for DRS in San Marino, couldn't they? Sorry, not San Marino. In Imola then, which I call it the San Marino Grand Prix all throughout the weekend, really. So that just shows that I am very difficult. I'm very difficult for change. I'm a resistant man to change, and I'm still living in the past, and I can't even pronounce the Grand Prix name anyway. Rempo goes up into second fast mode. Velocity is still at the moment there the peak of qualifying as it stands. Well, Mike has just started his lap then. Ayrton is coming into the pits there. Has Ayrton got to give himself enough time now to have another bite of cherry there? He is in 8th fast mode, and he might be seeing himself out of might be seeing himself out of qualifying now. As Gunnar saying, well, I've been out, Sean. Well, you've got enough time to go out again, Gunnar. Have another bite of the cherry, I'd say, my good man there. Look, unless Gunnar now doesn't fancy like going out for another run, perhaps he's just enjoying the coverage then. The Red Bull driver is there. As we now got Cummings coming through the final turn as well. Oh, look at that. He had to steer into the slide there, didn't he? He's 2/10 of a second up, though. He is still 6th faster, so that's not improvement on position, but that is an improvement on time. Mike at the moment now is almost, he's half second up in the first intermediate split time. He's a second up in the second intermediate split time. He has found 1.5 seconds overall in this lap, and lovely stuff indeed then. As Serious Mushroom now is going to say it, Rempo to get the podium then. As of course Rempo's been very yet so near, yet so far, hasn't she? She's not got the rub of the green yet this season there. As Mike there steering into the slide, and good stuff indeed there from the McLaren driver, accelerating away there. A lot of give on the outside curve there of turn 21 out of 23, and Mike propels himself right up into second position on the soft tire then. Sean Hammers is out on circuit as well. We just seen a glimpse of Mazda, who's just emerging out of the garage as well. Sean Hammers is out on track at the moment. And what about Velocity? Velocity is 4/10 of a second up, so he's about to lower the benchmark once again. Velocity is. I think he's proven a point here tonight, isn't he? Because he's now in the 34.2s there. Velocity is, and good stuff indeed there. Half a second improvement on his previous time there. Velocity doesn't have a qualifying free band, but I think he is throwing the gauntlet down here. Good stuff indeed there. Sean Hammers out of the final turn as well. Where does Sean Hammers go? He propels himself up to second as well. It's going to be like a fruit machine on that left hand side there, as those times are going to be tumbling down, aren't they? And there might be some drivers that are going to be looking a bit red faced by the end of this one. RAW is on the medium tires, and Gunnar on the soft tires for Mass as well, and for Ayrton, and for Curly Red there. Curly's invalid this time. Luckily he's got enough time to go to have another lap then, so that's okay there for Curly Red. No panic there for the Welsh driver. And Ayrton just in front of Curly Red. Roscoe is just in front of I know he is, he's just coming out of the pits. I'm speaking absolute boulder dash. Right then, Maz is now about to start his lap as well. As here we go then, we're about round the final turn then, and Maz then starts out. Let's go on board with the Racing Point driver, shall we? Goes over the grid hatches as well then. The timing beam, the finish line, the start line is slightly different, isn't it? Of course that has to keep in line with the FIA garage, isn't it? Just in case there's a dead heat and all that kind of jazz. Well, it's an old rule, isn't it? But I don't think it's really matters anymore with the amount of technology. I suppose they could use VAR, can't they? VAR, because that's very accurate, isn't it? Maz then coming down the back straight as well. Of course, Tango has sent me to trap him up, but I still have no earthly idea how to say it. But he's 3/10 of a second up, then going into turn 7 as well. Looking up the inside left front there on the Racing Point now. And of course, I'm going to miss this pink car next season when they go to Aston Martin, because I presume that they'll be going to green then as well. I think they still have the BWT on the BWT sponsor, don't they? So there still will be a hint of pink, I think, but I think it'll be more, but there might be a bit of green green on there as well. Cummings is out of qualifying, so is Camera Racer as well. Camera Racer has absolutely done a splendid job here tonight. He's in 7th fast at the moment now, and currently that is enough then to get him through that. As now come down Russell's Boulevard now is Mazer in the racing point. What is his second intermediate split time? He's 6/10 of a second up then as well. Look at those brake discs glowing there as he is really giving that racing point a run for its money, isn't it? Of course, he's not letting that car breathe for a second, is he? Mazer's lovely stuff indeed there. The tyres are going to be screaming at me now as he goes under the grandstand as well. Lovely stuff indeed there. As I've got a lot of predictions in the comments there. I'll try and keep up as best I can. Artie Wee has just gone into 13 fastest then on the medium tyres. I think that might be done and dusted for Artie Wee. And as I thought Mazer invalidated his time there, but he was very lucky. He is through in the qualifying free as it stands at the moment then. But there's still a long way to go. Gunner's the second up. Oh, but he's invalidated his time. Gunner has said. I think he was a bit greedy on one of the curbs there, unfortunately. And because of that, he has invalidated his time. So that was a big shame there for Gunner. Here comes Ash to cut over the Anson Bridge as well. We've also got Energetics out there trying to defend his position there. I think that Energetics should be safe then, as I said, very cautiously indeed then. Ayrton there, second intermediate split time, 4/10 of a second up then on the soft tyres, and good stuff indeed then. As now then accelerating out then and coming into the final part of the course as well. Lovely shot here. I love this shot there as the car just rotating around the chicane. Beautiful stuff indeed then. Now Ayrton then into the final stage of that then, as now it's more of an American street circuit now, isn't it? 90 degree left, 90 degree right then, before you have two final very fast left-hander turns, and here they come right in front of Ayrton then. And look at this then, it's just one sweeping corner. Ayrton goes into 6th fastest just in front of Energetics. Energetics is invalidated time, but I think he should be safe on that one. 5,000 of a second. Curly Red is up in the second section there, and I think he's out of fuel. He's out of fuel there, so he misses out. He misses the cut there, unfortunately. Roscoe doesn't. He is in 9th fastest. Good stuff indeed there. Mazer is is a couple of tenths down as well. The Artie Wee has finished his lap then, and he is in 13th position as well. Artie Wee is. I wonder if it might have been maybe Artie Wee didn't want to even remotely consider the soft tire there, because it's quite a sometimes it's very interesting, isn't it? These tires are. It's like a bit of magic sometimes, isn't it? Some drivers like the soft tire rather than the medium tire. Artie Wee might be one of those drivers that definitely very much likes the medium tire. Then, well, he's coming in the pits as well. Gunnar out of qualifying, so is Curly, and Cummings also out of qualifying as well. I think that's a surprise. Remember, he looked very quick in the Belgian Grand Prix, didn't he? As was just on board. Curly misses out. I got to say, would he have got through there if he didn't run out of fuel? Possibly, but but unfortunately, there's a lot of if buts and maybe in this game, isn't there? And that's one maybe that we might not be able to find out. Now, just taking a look then. So we've got AR saying yes, Red Bull P2 at least one Haas driver in Q2 and Q3. Lovely stuff indeed then. So Gunnar, Serious Merchant says Gunnar, Red Bull, Ayrton then. I think that's his podium predictions there. Lovely stuff indeed then. We've also got Beckett saying that Serious Merchant again then, I'm blaming you if I don't get a podium. Jinx said. So Nunda is suggesting a reverse grid. We've already heard about those reverse grid proposals, haven't we? In the real world of Formula 1. Out qualifying, Forza 15th, Gunnar 14th, Artie Wee 13th, Curly Red 12th, and Cummings 11th. All the guys then, all the drivers then, it's from 15th to 11th. It's on the medium tyre then, so no one quicker on the soft tyre. And into Q3 on the soft tyres, everyone apart from Energetics. But remember, it's about the weather at the start of the race. Well, I'm looking forward to that. It's going to be absolute anarchy, isn't it? And I love anarchy. Gunnar saying he had no tyres left, unfortunately, then for Gunnar. Otherwise, potentially, he could have had more of a fist to get through the qualifying free then. Indeed then. Sam saying Ayrton is through. Indeed he is. Second time in the night then. Ayrton is through then. So Shoney's got good form around here. Chucky, good evening Sean. Hello Chucky. And good stuff indeed there. Becca Jones and Serious Mission are liking Ayrton's time there. Beautiful stuff indeed there. Jake Wilson also loving it as well. Great time then. And as Ayrton saying, yeah, and I know you're faster. So Ayrton downplaying his chances in qualifying free then. But remember, anything can happen in Formula 1, and Ayrton has looked very quick, hasn't he? So he might be just doing the old sandbagging routine. I remember he was qualifying 4th, wasn't he, in the Grand Prix of Italy? I think it was, wasn't it? Yes, it was. velocity then out qualifying, so he will be not on the he will not be on the front row tonight, that is for sure. But let's see what he can do then from 10th on the grid. Then it's very difficult to overtake around here, but with the wet weather that might come to Velocity's rescue here. Then out of pits comes Energetics. Well, if you took a blow from a stat point of view, Energetics has to be the favourite, doesn't he? And of course there's no Noonda out there either, so currently, only one man has ever been on pole position then in this session, and that has been, his Energetics there completely cutting the first part of the course there, and this is the only man that's been on pole position then in this whole field then that is left in qualifying 3. As Total Peter saying, Emerson, stop racing for Ayrton. So I think Emerson just sent me a snapshot of him in there. I think he's in a fish and chip shop, wasn't he? Of course, there is Emerson is a very successful businessman, isn't he? Because he owns a fish and chip shop, and I think he takes deliveries in this Renault Clio, doesn't he? Here's a man who I don't think has a Renault Clio, but it's Energetics who is driving the Alfa Romeo, and of course 5 times on pole position. Then can he make it a 6 tonight? And I think in terms of his overall stats, I'm sure he's got 9 pole positions, doesn't he? Yes. Can he get that magical number 10 here tonight then for Energetics in his whole career in bronze then? And I've got to say then, he is definitely looking the odds on fair, but you cannot discount out anyone in this qualifying session, can you? We've got former race winner in this session like Mike, haven't we? He's on a bit of a difficult spot at the moment there, but he did look very strong last night as well. And of course Rembo looking very strong, as is Sean Hammers as well. I think all 9 drivers are looking very good indeed then. So on board then is we've got Gunnar saying it's okay, he gets on the controller back halfway through. Search must say next time I'll boo you, Ayrton. Ayrton there is a very ungrateful young man, isn't he? I think Ayrton might be downplaying his chance there, but we'll soon find out, won't we? As now is Energetic turns across the line then. Let's see what he can do then. Of course he is the man who has got the most pole positions in bronze history, hasn't he? Here in Singapore, and look at that, locking up the inside front there. And I quite like going on board with Energetics there on the qualifying lap there. He throws it all against the wall, doesn't he? Not literally, I mean figuratively. Look how close he was against the wall there. He doesn't leave a stone unturned, does he? Energetics does it. Of course his qualifying performance has been brilliant, hasn't it? But it's the races, hasn't it, where he's been stuck in the midfield, and that has sometimes cost him some points in this championship campaign, hasn't he? Energetics has it, but he definitely has the pace, doesn't he? And look at that, he's locking up those fronts there, and look at that there, also having to correct the steer there and almost going into the wall as well, and it's just incredible stuff indeed, isn't it? Now into the turn 11 and 12 there, of course, is a lot more tighter than it used to be there over the Anderson Bridge there. Before this, a very tight left-hander as well, back on the power as well. He had a beep in his ear. That is the DRS then, and that is the third and final DRS zone of the lap then. Breaking down into second gear there, touching the 60-mile-an-hour mark, right in the outside curve there. Lovely jubbly indeed then. And now then we're into the final part of that then, as I'm mentioning Q2. This is about the American, this is like the American street circus, isn't it? 90 degree left, 90 degree right, isn't it? So, but Energetics there, of course, locking up those fronts. Those tyres there are going to be quite ball bodying this one. It's an hour 21, and look at that there, goodness me! And gosh, that was Sebastian Vettel-esque, wasn't it? He really perfected turn 21 back in his Ferrari days, and now Energetics cross the line at 34-1 there. Brilliant stuff there for Energetics. Roscoe a 35.998 then. Well done, Sean Hammers a 35.2 then. Energetics is almost a second up on the rest of the field as it stands at the moment. It's just a monstrous lot there from Energetics, isn't it? What about Ayrton coming across the line? He is third fast at the moment. Well done, McLaren. Mike is the third fastest, just displaces Ayrton. Racing point behind of Mazda, and he takes 6 fastest then. We got Bradfield who's moved up into second fastest. Good time from Bradfield, but they're still 9/10 of a second away from Energetics. Energetics is out of the ballpark at the moment. He's in a completely different postcode at this stage then. Incredible stuff indeed then. Red Bull is abandoning her lap, I think, and come back into the pits then. Camaro Racer out of the final turn, and Camaro goes second, and he's the only one into the 34.8 then. Camaro Racer looking very much on it like a car bonnet tonight. Fantastic stuff there. What a first round of qualifying that was, and brilliant stuff indeed then. I really enjoyed that. Nuda saying Mike for pole, and Serious Mercer said Mike's snuck under the radar again, and very impressive, a very respectful time there. It really was Energetics there, and absolutely fantastic. He didn't leave anything on the table at all, did he, Energetics? And that is a great first time lap, isn't it? Is that job done? Well, anything can happen, can it? Of course, there's 7/10 of a second gap there. McCamera Racer, I think that was a great time as well, isn't it? Bradfield also up there as well. I'm loving this. Look at that grid. That's a fantastic grid, isn't it? But of course, we've got one more run to go, haven't we? And who is going to be able to challenge this man then? I've got to say, that is a impressive time, isn't it, from Energetics? Really good stuff indeed there. ALR Vintage said, evening peeps, evening again peeps, hello. I hope you, as always, Energetics there is just letting camera racer through, and I've got to say, it's a very I got that lap from Energetics was absolutely fantastic. We was on board with him, wasn't we? That was an absolute pleasure to be on board with Energetics. That was a really absolutely spectacular, really good stuff indeed then. Jake Wilson, 1-0, get in Yotta again then, and that is also made my life a lot better as well, of course. So lovely stuff indeed then. That is the best news I can hear then. Great stuff indeed then. We're also preparing now for the longest race in the bronze history tonight, isn't it? Because whatever happens, it's going to be a long one, isn't it? So yeah, so I hope you've all got your snacks and everything at the ready then. Of course, that is the spectators, the drivers. I hope they've got no snacks ready, because they should be concentrating on the track in front of them, of course said. And of course, I don't condone drink driving, or I don't condone eating and driving as well. Well, actually, are you allowed to? I don't know. Luckily, that's something that I don't need to worry about. But I also know that you ain't allowed to eat on the bus anymore, apparently, either. So and there you go, really lots of times we live in. Alright, Red Bull then, is she here we're on board with Red Bull darling. She's slightly out of rhythm from the rest of the other drivers, haven't they? Because it looks like the other drivers are going for 2-time runs then. Red Bull might sure to get the second time run in then, but here we go then, as she's coming out of turn 21 as well. OMG, could we see a Bradfield on the podium then? I gotta say, Bradfield has had some very good races this season, hasn't he, Bradfield? And he's had I think that there's been some races where he probably deserved more than what he got then, but we'll soon find out. And Red Bull there, almost at the wrong part of the track there, and of course sliding her way through turn 3 as well, and taking a lot of curb heads out of turn 5. We've also got Gunnar saying, Ian Vintage, hope you're keeping, how you keeping, buddy? And lovely. So we're coming down into turn 7 as well, and of course dropping down the third gear. It's quite a fast left-hander there, isn't it? So we're still about at the night tomorrow. Oh, Mark, Red Bull, I think it's just contacted the wall then, and it hasn't damaged her car though, has it? Oh goodness me, then this might be a bit of a this looks like an adventurous kind of lap there from Red Bull. Goodness gracious me then. And as we're on board as well, then Bradfield is a good shout. There for Vintage. As we're on board, then Red Bull, she's invalidated her time as well as. And so we're on board then as Rempo coming down at the back straight as well as Nuna. I've ignored Gunnar. Oh, I apologise, Gunnar. I'm sure I read out your comment. If I didn't, I apologise. I've got to say, you're chatting so quick in the comments there. It's hard to keep up sometimes, isn't it? Rempo, the one that she got enough fuel in her car then go for a second time run then. She's also changed her helmet colours this week as well. Lovely stuff indeed there. Of course, the no to racism helmet. Beautiful stuff indeed then, of course, said. And yep, we all echo that, don't we? Because we all races what in Formula 1, that's our slogan, and I think that's a very good slogan indeed, isn't it? Rempo is coming into the pit set. I'm wondering then, I wonder if that was just kind of exploratory that there, to just try and find her way then, get herself ready for qualifying, for final run in qualifying 3 then. So Sean Alvarez is out there straight away then. We've got 3 minutes to go in this session now. So leaving himself a bit of room for error, margin for error kind of thing then, as he accelerates out then as well. As we're on board with Sean Hammers as he comes through turn 5 as well. Down the back straight then. Look at that. This is the first, well, it's the second of a 3 DRS. So just like this. 1 on the start finish straight, run on this straight here, and 1 down Raffles Boulevard as well. He's done a 62 first sector then. So he's 6200 second up then. Sean Hammers is then. I wonder how much more he's got on the card money. So far, it's an AlphaTauri, all second row at the moment. Lovely stuff indeed then. And now the 3 Red Bull cars. We got Camera Racer, Bradfield, and Sean Hammers there. Red Bull do need a lot of points, don't they? As at the moment, they're on 16 points in the Constructors' Championships. Of course, they would like to have a lot more than that by the end of this season then, as that might be the lowest ever in ALR history. I'm going to find the lowest ever Constructors tally, so hopefully they won't be able to match that. Sean Hammers there is coming down Raffles Ruler Bar as well, and almost 3/10 of a second up, then in the second intermediate split time as well then, as now he's into the final section as well then, as coming up the Nelson PK turn as well, before coming under the Ricardo, the Turun Chandrok, and also Lorraine Carter Kane. So we got a yellow flag out there. It's Energetics, and I think that it's up to quite late on their Energetics house, but he should be able to get to the line, I think. Sean Hammers there drifting it around 22 and 3, and he's improved by 1/10 of a second, but that's not improved his position there. He's edged closer to his teammate, but at the moment that is not enough, is it, for as Bradfield's invalidated Tom? That's not enough, is it, for the AlphaTauri driver? Camera Racer has had a bit of a nightmare second intermediate split time. I'm not sure that, I think he's abandoning this up. He's also coming to pits well. Camera Racer coming on the second row of the grid then. He cannot defend himself because he's in the pits then. And the Bradfield is also invalidated his time as well then. So there might be a bit of tears at the end of this qualifying session. Camera Racer's retired from the session, and we have got less than a minute to go. Where is Energetics? He's just coming over the Anderson Bridge then, so that should be, it's going to be tight, but that should get him through. That should be through then. Well, we'll find out. We're keeping an eye on the pole sitter at the moment though. He I wonder if he can get into the 33s, and that would be absolutely monstrous, wouldn't it? As look at this, as Maz locking up the inside left front there for the racing point driver, and now wandering across the track there before going into the Singapore sling as well. Maz as well. Yellow flags in sector 3. We got 27 seconds to go then, as Energetics is 5 corners from home then as well. We're keeping an eye on the man who's on pole position at the moment now, going for his 10th pole position of his career, his 6th pole position of the season as well, and he should be fine then, and he is timed to absolute perfection there. He's got across the line with 10 seconds to go then, so he was absolutely not concerned whatsoever there, and that just shows how bad my time management is as well then. And we're on board there with Manson as he is now into the final stage. Look at that Ferris wheel right in front of us there. I gotta say, I don't really fancy being up there, to be honest. I gotta say, I do not like heights whatsoever. So Manson out of turn 21 then. This is it then, so let's see what I can do then. He's 2 turns from home then, Manson. This looks like a decent lap there. Is it going to improve his position? It does. He's 7th fastest, and he improves by 1.5 seconds then in the Racing Point Racing Point then. Lovely stuff indeed there. Well done, Mike then. Mike then is 5/10 of a second up there in the second intermediate split time. That should get him into the 34s then. And that would propel him up into third position then now. So that will split the two AlphaTauris. Both of the AlphaTauris have had a bad start to this qualifying 3. And Mike goes second fastest. He's on the front row of the grid. Mike is great time indeed there for Mike. Lovely stuff indeed there. So Mike is on the front row here in Singapore then. And I've got to say, just showing that he is coming back on form at the right time. And that's exactly what McLaren need, doesn't it? And the constructors, albeit that the constructors title is falling away quite quickly. Ayrton's quick in second sector. He's up in the 5th. And Sean Hammers is down into 6th then. So Sean Hammers started off in 4th position. He is dropped down into 6th now then. Rembo cut across the line. She is 7th fastest in the end then. Well, with Bradfield's abandoned his time and come into the pits then. Energetics has invalidated his time as well. What about Roscoe then? As Roscoe come through the final turn, and Roscoe is done a 35.9. Is it going to improve? It is. He's up to fast as he displaces Maz, who is down into 9th. And the velocity was in 10th position then. What an end to qualifying. But Energetics said, I got to say, right from the get-go, that pole position was going to be very difficult to beat, wasn't it? And he is on pole position there once again then for the first ever Singapore Grand Prix in ALR bronze. Fantastic stuff indeed then. That was a great lap indeed there from Energetics. As Gunnar saying, camera the quiet beast there. Brilliant stuff indeed. Sam saying, nice lap there from Ayrton. Really good stuff indeed then. As Sam has asked, what's his best quality for Ayrton? I think his best quality is actually 4th position, which was last time out in Italy. So Ayrton there very much high up there at the moment. Good stuff indeed then. Great times from bronze. Absolutely fantastic stuff indeed. Becca Jones saying it wouldn't be an ALR race if I didn't bottle qualifying. So unfortunately, Red Bull down in 7th fastman. I think she would have felt that she probably could have and should have been higher up then as well. What's the outstanding performance in qualifying in that? Well, I got to say, that's a very difficult question to answer, isn't it? I got to say, energetics there. Well, that lap was absolutely phenomenal, wasn't it? Really, Mike there on the front row as well. That was good. Camera racer, I think for me was absolutely brilliant, though, wasn't he? I got to say, up in the third. I think that is actually his best qualifying performance of his career thus far, indeed. Then. So now then, we're getting ready for the race itself, and we are expecting sprinkling the wet stuff. But how heavy is it going to be? Is it going to just be a light flutter, or is it going to be a more than a light flutter? Is it going to be intermediate compounds and so on? Well, no, that isn't. That's more than light flutter. Goodness me, it's torrential rain here in Singapore, isn't it? But I think there's no puddles, though, is there? So, but there are wet tyres, though, in the garage, and I'm wondering if that might be that they are on the car as well. I was going to say that might be intermediate weather, but I think I'm completely wrong on that, because it looks heavy rain, doesn't it? That is an absolute deluge out there, isn't it? Wet tyres in the garage for since I reckon there might be wet tyres on the cars as well then. Oh goodness me then. Sarah was saying good luck there everyone. Vintage was saying good luck to all the drivers there. Lovely stuff indeed. The track is awful there from ALR. My race times will be embarrassing. Also Ayrton saying nice lap there, Emerson. Right then, here we go then. And I've got to say, I'm really excited to see what tyres are on. They're on the full wet weather tyres then. And I've got to say, I thought it was wet for just the start of the race. It looks like it's wet weather throughout the race as well then. And I usually say that it's usually the silver guys, isn't it, that gets the wet weather. But tonight it is bronze as well. And that is a lot of rain as well then. And this is going to be appalling weather, isn't it? But I've got to say, the track looks amazing under the wet, in wet weather under. Oh, it's energetics already going off there. Oh gosh, and this is going to be an adventurous formation lap, isn't it? So this is where they get a chance to try and find where the grip is. Remember, in the past there, Alan Prost has spun under the on the formation lap, and also Coulthard spun as well in his pole position in the Italian Grand Prix, which really hurts me to say. I seem to have a lot of hurtful facts about Coulthard. Look at that rain then, and look at energetics. He can hardly get on the power, can he? This is going to be adventurous, isn't it? Right, let's go for the grid then. I've got 31 laps then to get excited about the weather, but before I do, we need to get excited about the grid, shall we? Look at the spray coming off of those tyres as well. Energetics pole position then. That's his 6th pole position of his career, and of the season, and his 10th pole position of his career as well. So he is the first man in bronze in double figures. So congratulations there to Energetics. Cummings has retired from the has been disqualified then. Serious much saying this is going to be spicy indeed. Then turn 1 is going to be good. Someone's going to be missing the brakes or forget to brake earlier. So Sam is also looking forward to turn 1 as well. So am I. Anyway, going back to the grid then. 10 pole positions there for Energetics in his career, and the only man there to be in double figures in bronze. Fantastic. Mike is alongside him on row 1. Absolutely fantastic stuff for Mike then, and his best qualifying performance of his career. Same with Camaro Racer in 3rd position, and Bradfield is in 4th position. Ayrton in 5th position. 6th position is Sean Hammers. Redbow in 7th position. Roscoe is 8th. Mars is in 9th, and Velocity He's in 10th position, the championship leader. What can he do from 10th on the grid? Whatever happens tonight then, Velocity and Williams will not lose our lead in the drivers or the constructors standings. Cummings in 11th position there. Curley in 12th position there. 13th position is RDW. Gunnar in 14th position. Forza 15th. Diashi in 16th position. We got Stereogram in 17th. Brandon in 18th position as well. He's a ghost at the moment. 19th position is Newman. And 20th position there is Nunda as well. Our last week's pole position is 20th position this week as well. And of course, he also won the Grand Prix last week, didn't he, Nunda? From effectively the last position on the grid then. So Nunda knows what it's like that to come through the field then. Can he do it again tonight as well? And of course, the lights are on then around Singapore. Then the floodlights are on then. This is going to be an absolutely treacherous race, isn't it? And I remember someone saying in the comments for bronze when he was doing practice for someone to put a wet session on. Well, goodness me, that's an absolutely correct call, isn't it? Because look at this, and as we are lining up then, we are getting ready for the race lights to come on then, and of course the tension is building up. The drama is electric around here, around Singapore then. Round 16 of bronze as well then. As the lights are on then, we got 4, we got 5, there's a pause, and we are going Singapore. As one Ferrari's gone, as We got 2 cars gone. Newman and Brandon have completely gone then. As we're just now a go here in Singapore. And Energetic just away well then. It's a very gingerly start. And Ayrton's already moved over compositions there. As Diashi is there for session. Look at this. Ayrton's up in the 4th. Ayrton's up in the 2nd. What a stupendous start out from Ayrton. He has flown through the field. He's up in the 2nd position. Fantastic start out from Ayrton. Wow, that was a Fernando Alonso start, wasn't it? Brilliant stuff. The only difference was he didn't get taken out there by a Red Bull. Brilliant stuff indeed then. As we got Mike in third position, Camaro in 4th position then. We got both AlphaTauri 6th and 7th position then. Roscoe, Rembo is now side by side. And Velocity has dropped down into 10th position there as well. Well, he was 10th actually, but look at these cars and it's free abreast going down. Oh, goodness me, someone's going to get squeezed out there. Look at that, free turn 7, and there's a lot of gaps on the outside. And yellow flag in sector number 2, I think it is. Rembo and Rembo and Mazzaro side by side, and again, very squirrely indeed then. Velocity is on the he's on the inside of RDW. RDW has gone a bit wide then as well. Forza is in a 14th position. Well, no, he's up to 12th, I think it is. There's another yellow flag there out there. Gunnar is struggling at the back of the field, isn't he, in the Red Bull. RDW has gone slightly wide as well, and as we got Forza who's in 40th position as well, and Curly Red has dropped down a few positions as well. Gunnar's lost the whole front window. Virtual safety car is out there. We got problems there. What's happened? And oh goodness me, then is Rembo and Velocity are trying to decide on where each other should be on the track. We have a virtual safety car, and why is that? Is that for Gunnar? Just taking a look then. I think it might be then. So at the moment is that Diashi has joined then, so he's back in the race as well. But a virtual safety car runs, so they have to adhere to the Delta then. But Ayrton, what a start! He's up into 2nd position. Oh, Nuno's got a severe collision. We got collisions going on in the back then, and is there damage? I think there's damage on the Williams. There is damage on the Williams. The man who won last time out there, and not good at all. Then is it? Oh goodness gracious me then, and and then we've also got damage on Cummings as well then. So 2 cars just got to come the pits, along with Gunnar as well. Has lost the whole of the front wing there on the Red Bull car as well, as Gunnar is trying to come back in the pits there. Newman and Brandon there are not in the race at the moment. I don't believe we're back racing as RDW has got past Velocity and moved up into, or has he? No, he's cut in the pits there. Both Renaults are in the pits. This is not good at all, and RDW has also damaged the car as well, so both cars are in the pits and RDW is going to be oh dear, so we got a lot of cars cutting the pits and Diashi set the flat start of the race there, 1:14.8. No, so even a 14 there. That's incredible times there for Stereogram there. Goodness gracious me, that is going to be the lap record forever and ever and ever. Energetic leads then, as he is now coming through the cars then, who of course said who are not in the race at the moment, so we're down to 18 cars at the moment. Ayrton at the moment has had a fantastic start. He is up into 2nd fastest. Mike there getting a bit squirrely. Is Ayrton our Rainmaster then is Ayrton our Rainmaster for bronze then? Goodness me, he is at the moment, isn't he? He is on a fantastic drive out there at the moment. Brilliant stuff indeed then, as the Emerson jokes are still floating at the moment, but Ayrton is absolutely flying out there, isn't he? He's doing a great job, isn't he? We got Camaro in a 4th position, and we've got both AlphaTauris as well in 5th and 6th position, but they're all over the back of Camaro Racer. He is struggling on these track conditions at the moment, and so it's almost 2 seconds the gap is between Energetics and between Ayrton as well then, as the times are trying to figure themselves out as well. We're on board then, as we got a yellow flag as one of the Mercedes has had a problem there. It's Cummings there. He has damaged the car, and who's that then? And that's one of the Alfa Romeos behind there, and oh dear then, and that's Cummings there has just come out of the pits and he's damaged the car again. Gunnar's also changed the nose cone as well. Oh dear. Yeah, this is a very messy start as well. RDW having to queue up because he's quite far behind at this moment in time as well. Back on board and Velocity at the moment, who's right behind Rembo. They are both in the points at the moment as well, as the times are just trying to figure themselves out. Look at this queue of cars at the moment. Goodness gracious me, Rembo is I gotta say, struggling in these conditions at the moment, and Velocity is all over the back of the Haas driver at the moment, and it's very difficult indeed. That Rembo, oh goodness me, almost I thought she was going in the pits, but no, it's just trying to get on the power, isn't it? This rain is absolutely incredible, isn't it? It's absolutely pouring down. It's raining cats and dogs, or dogs and cats. And as Velocity goes on the outside, where is he? Whoa, Red Bull and Velocity have come the blows then. And but I think it's just a, oh my goodness me there. As Velocity then is through and up into 8th position. Then Red Bull down into 9th for the moment, and in 10th position I think will be Forza. Forza's had a mega start to this race then, hasn't he? Brilliant stuff indeed then. Ayrton is now 4 seconds back as Energetics is waltzing away in the battle for the lead then. Good stuff indeed there for Energetics. He's having an absolutely fantastic start there. Now then Ayrton is starting to become a bit defensive, isn't he? It's him and Mike now. Mike's all over him as well as in this battle for second. But 6 seconds, Camera Racer is struggling a lot more than these two at the moment. Then look at the rain. It's absolutely appalling conditions out there, isn't it? As these wet wear tires are very much really being put through their paces, aren't they? Goodness me. I thought it was going to be just raining for the start of the race, and it really isn't. I think this rain might be set to stay here in Singapore. We only ever had one wet race before in Singapore, and of course that was back in 2017. Well, today then it's a lot heavier than what it was back then, wasn't it? This is the battle for second position moment. Cummings is back in the pits then, as he's had to do 2 stops in the first 2 laps as well, so that's not good at all for the Mercedes driver. Hopefully he can get himself back out there and get himself some points maybe later on in this session as well then. So we've got 2 cars here then. So this is 4th Camaro, 5th Bradfield, Hammers in 6th, Mars 7th, Velocity 8th, Rainbow in 9th position then, and then we've got 4th and 10th position. He's about 3 seconds back at the moment there. So this is the queue at the moment. Look at that set. This is going to get very tasty indeed. He is now almost 6.5 seconds away from Mike and Ayrton, who are second and third at the moment. So this is working out splendidly well then for Ayrton and Mike then. Let's see what will happen then. I'm wondering, is this rain going to ease off it? I've already spoke about it. Maybe it might be here for the long haul, or is it going to be drying up then? I don't know. It's good stuff indeed there. Sirius Marshall is saying Red Bull's got wing damage. I think then we'll have a look at the Haas driver in a minute. As a safety car, Gunnar is out of the race, and a safety car is really not good at all, is it, for the leaders there? Energetics is 7.3 in front, and Camera Racer is at 8.2 seconds back. And we're on board Rempo. She got wing damage then, and let's take a look then. Don't think she has there, but I'm wondering if it might. Remember, I think I said so in Monza that someone didn't have wing damage, but they actually did, didn't they? This is going to help Cummings, isn't it? No end there, isn't it? Good stuff indeed there for Cummings then, because he is, as Gunnar's left the session, he is out of the race then. That's a sad end for Gunnar on his 76 Grand Prix start in ALR for the Red Bull driver then. But this rain has started to ease off then. It's not as heavy as it was it? So I wonder, is the track going to drain then? Are we going to go on to the intermediate tires then? Is anyone going to roll the dice and go on the intermediate tires? And that is something that we are going to have answered then, because look, that rain has come from very heavy to light all of a sudden there. And as Simon's saying, I bet Energetics are happy. As Simon's asked, what's happened to Gunnar then? As unfortunately Gunnar went off at this section here, didn't he? Artie Weeder is rolling the dice. He is on those intermediate tyres then. And of course, the wet wear tyres, because I think can disperse about 80 litres of water. I think the intermediate tyres can disperse about 60 or something like that. So the intermediate tyre does exactly what it says on the tin there. Is the step between the slick tyres and the full wet tyres, of course then. Let's see what Artie Wee can do then, as he gets a free pit stop here then. So if this don't work, you can go back in the pits and throw on a set of wet tyres there. It is very wet out there, but the intermediate tyres is a special tyre, isn't it? It's got such a wide operating range, doesn't it? So even on a very wet track, they can still produce some grip there. But we'll find out what RDW can do then. Safety car there, just letting RDW through then. Cummings has stayed on the wet tyres then. So the only man on the intermediate tyres at the moment is into the pits. Comes Energetics then. As I'm wondering then if he might be thinking about the same then. Ayrton is staying out then, and into the pits comes Mike as well then. So I'm wondering what tyres are these guys going to put on then. He comes into the pits there, and let's find out then. And we're on board now then, as into the pits. Energetics, and I think it's only Mike and Energetics, and also he is on the intermediate tyres then, as Diaz has got a 3 second penalty. Yes, so Arnie Weeder has absolutely judged it to perfection, hasn't he? Because look at this, Energetics is coming out the pits and he's on into tyres, and we have got a split of strategy here. I absolutely love it. What a start to this Singapore Grand Prix. Absolutely brilliant stuff indeed then. Energetics is out in 5th position. We've got a ghostly Brandon in 6th position. We've got a ghostly Newman in 7th. Mike is in 8th position then. Camera Racer is on the intermediate tires along with Maz and Velocity as well. Redbow is also on the intermediate tires, as is Forza and Dash as well. So he comes out of the pit set. A lot of drivers are coming in on those intermediate tires then. So yeah, I think Ardy Wee has absolutely justice to perfection here, hasn't he? Ayrton has stayed out along with Bradfield and Sean Hammers and Curly Red then, and also Brandon and Newman has as well, but they're not in this race at the moment. Then we're down to 17 cars then, as this is going to get very interesting indeed then. As Serious Merchant saying, I always find Inter's better in the rain then. As yes, because as we already mentioned, the intermediate tyres got such a great operating window, and they were on board with the race leader, which is Ayrton. And I'm sure that I can't remember, maybe I'm wrong here. It's just the first time Ayrton has ever led a bronze race. Then, wow, he's loving life out there at the moment, isn't he? In the Mercedes. Then, let's see what he can do from there. Then, as we're on board from now. Then, right behind Bert Mylander in the safety car. Then, let's see as Cummings has got a 3-second penalty there, but he's in the pits, and I think he got a 3-second penalty for coming in the pits. I'm wondering if he kind of went over the coming into the pits, went over the line coming into the pits. So he's on the intermediate tyres while Cummings is, and he's back out on circuit 12. Mercedes are bookend the front and the back of the field at the moment then. Stereogram is also coming on the pits while he is on the intermediate tyres as well. Wow, what a start then. So at the moment then, let's take stock, shall we? We have got Ayrton who's leading the race, and he had a superb start. I think that's one of the best starts I've ever seen then. Brilliant stuff there, as he flew from 5th position right up to 2nd there. And as I mentioned there, it's very similar to Fernando Alonso back in 2017, but the only difference was that he didn't get punted out by an out of control Verstappen, did he? So well done indeed there from Ayrton. So he is up to leading the race at the moment. He is on the wet tyres. Everyone in the top 4 is on the wet tyres at the moment. Energetics is on the intermediate tyres. And is that the right choice? Well, we're going to find out then. Let's see how quickly this track drains here tonight as well. But of course, it's going to get very track position is key though. But being on the right tyre at the right time is golden in Formula 1, isn't it? Definitely good stuff indeed there. Jake Wilson, Yotta 2-0. Brilliant stuff indeed there from Yotta, and I really wish I put him in my fantasy team now. Serious Merchant saying, go on Ayrton. go on Emma Yetton. I can't merge people's names together. But yeah, that's great. But yeah, so good stuff indeed there, as Ayrton is showing very much similar traits then to his brother Emerson there, who drives in gold on Sundays, and albeit he didn't drive this Sunday as he was having a holiday in Butlins. I don't know. I think it's, but no wait, I think it's Centre Parks, wasn't it? Yeah, he was on a holiday in Centre Parks, wasn't he, Emerson? Was there? And that's why he was skiving the race there on Sunday. But it was good to have his company, wasn't it? It's good to have all your company along as well for the it's good to have all your company. Oh goodness me, Mike has got a 5-second penalty before ignoring yellow flag set, as I think he's overtaken the ghost car, hasn't he? Remember the rules. Look at that then. That rain is hardly coming down anymore. It was lashing down, wasn't it, when he first started this race about 6 laps ago? Now all of a sudden now it is just light rain is there. Remember in the rules there, of course, you must not overtake under safety car, even if it is ghost cars, isn't it? Where so that's going to be a bit unfortunate. That's unfortunate there from Mike now, as he was at the wrong place at the wrong time then. But of course, I'm not going to judge the book by its coming out. As last night I falsely accused Ayrton of crashing into the back of someone coming into the pits, so I apologise about that, and that completely didn't happen at all then. So yes, I apologise to Ayrton. So that's why I should never like guess of what's happening now. Really, that's false claims, isn't it? Right then, what I do know is not a false claim. Wet tyres then for the top 4. Everyone else is on the intermediate tyres. Newman and Brandon, as we've mentioned there, they are not in this race at the moment, are they? I'm not sure what's happened to both of them, but they're both red X's and not participating at this moment in time then. And just on board now with Mike Dennis. He is now just coming through the chicane as well, and so he's coming so fast at the moment. So then I think that the safety car is still going to be out the end of the and the lights are still on then, as we are waiting for the cars to bunch up. We're still waiting for Cummings and Stereogram. We're about a half a minute away from the back of this train moment, and RDW is also trying to catch up as well then. So it's another lap then behind the safety car, and I think the longer this safety car stays out, I think the more it's playing into the advantage of the intermediate compound, the intermediate runners, isn't it? Oh, it turned 23 as well. So I'm just having a bit of a just on a breather there as well. Into the pits there comes the AI cars. That's the one, the AI cars. So they're coming into the pits now, and I think that is kind of usually evidence to say to go on the intermediate tire set. But the top four are still on the wet tire set, and they have made their judgment call, haven't they? So very interesting stuff indeed there. And whilst the AI cars are in the pits, and this is a very good opportunity then to just have a look at the position changes. Ayrton Watt start, he's up 4 positions then, up 8 positions is Curly Red then. Good stuff indeed then. There's a lovely jubbly indeed then. Dave as Cummings there has dropped down 9 positions, hasn't he, as he's had a bit of a nightmare of a start, hasn't he? And also Rembo's dropped down 3 positions as well then. So that is the so that's how they've started off so far in these early stages of this race. We've got 31 laps around here. This is a brutal old race circuit, isn't it? And look at that then. You can definitely oh no, Nunda has had a penalty for drive. Nunda 5-second penalty, a severe collision there with Roscoe as he damaged the car. And remember, Nunda was the first man on those intermediate tires then, and of course there he adjusted conditions absolute perfection, didn't he? Ardy Wee there judged the conditions absolute perfection. He was on the intermediate tires first, wasn't he? Brilliant stuff indeed then. But yeah, going back to the track conditions, look at that, it's almost that is definitely intermediate conditions now, isn't it? Which is not what the front four want to hear, is it? So there's not any more standing water, is it, for the wet tires to clear then? So the intermediate tires, I have a feeling at this stage, will be the quickest tire to be on then. So we'll soon find out then if the top 4 might get swallowed up as well. Hopefully the safety car is back in the end of the lap then, as we're on board then with Cummings, who is stoked behind Stereogram. And Stereogram is not in too much of a rush, so is it? Safety car's in the end of the lap there, and Cummings probably wants to get on with it. I think they should catch up to the back of the safety car by the time it gets to the start-finish line there. But I think the Cummings would like to get up and start to prepare himself. But they will have tyres in more of an operated optimum window, though, won't they? Because they will be going around it similar to racing speed then. Right then is Mike there is I think just showing the wing there of Energetics as well then, because Zen2 might be battling for the lead later on then, but we'll find out there, as anything can happen in this race. And of course traffic is can be very perilous around here, can it? Ayrton's first race start then, as he's leading the Grand Prix under the safety car as well. Jessica and Michael looking good now, they really are, aren't they? So they are now 5th and 6th position as the wet tyres and might not be the tyre to go on then. We're going to be back racing here in Singapore when Ayrton drops the hammer. And where's he going to drop the hammer then? As he is trying to warm up those tyres as much as possible. The wet tyres still needs to have a decent kind of operating temperature. Ayrton is going now. Here we go then. Ayrton leads, and second position is Bradfield, third position there. Look at this, they're already fighting at the back then. Ayrton's had a perfect start then. Bradfield in second position there. Maz is lunging on the inside there, but Hammer's there swooping back there, and Roscoe in a D-Ash there are very much side by side going down to turn 1 now. Roscoe is through up into 12th position. Lovely stuff indeed that. Rembo is all Forza's all over the back of Rembo. Remember they came to blows, didn't they, in the Italian Grand Prix. Camera racer now is look at this, as Massa trying to sneak up on the inside there and almost spinning there as a camera racer there, not yielding there, is they're coming down into turn 6 and 7 as well. Forza's past Rembo in the background as well, and there they are then. Look at this then, as there's cars all over the place, all over the show. It's now Forza's on the outside, Rembo's trying to sneak on the inside, no dice at the moment there, as a camera racer once again. He is struggling in these wet conditions, isn't he? And what a shame for camera racer. If it wasn't wet tonight, I reckon the camera racer would have been on course with some major points in his Red Bull. What a shame there for camera racer here tonight then. But anything could happen, there's still a long way to go then. Serious Mushrooms asked, I'm wondering if anyone had had a wet setup in qualifying. That would have been very interesting indeed then. So someone who qualified lower down on the grid then, perhaps compromised for this wet weather. But of course there it is now onto the intermediate tyres, isn't it? Mike has got past Energetic somewhere, and now Mike is over the 4th position as well then. As I look at this then, so Mike is pulling out there from underneath the rear wing there of Curly Red. That just shows then the intermediate tyres are definitely the way to go. But Curly is going back on the inside then, as he is trying to fight past, but I think it's job done now. Curly Red there as a drop down to 6th position. As the wet weather runners, wet weather tyre runners are now going to be dropping down the field. Unfortunately, is Nunda is now past the second Renault as well. Nunda's flying through the field. It's a good 70 then, or is he? Because Roscoe is coming back at him as well. What's happened? Oh goodness me! There's crash there. There's a crash there going into the grandstand there. It is Sean Hammers there. Has Mike got into it? Mike has got damage as well. Oh no! Mike has got damage. There's a spin in the background. Curly Red is spun around then. Oh, it's Anarchy. It's Anarchy. This is not good at all. Curly Red there, dropping right down to the back of the field then. Oh dear, 17 cars remain, and Sean Hammers is in the pits, and Ayrton still leads them, but look at this, Bradfield is having a look going into turn one. Bradfield is having a look then. Oh, but Ayrton gives him enough space that he is just sloshing and sliding over the greasy surface at the moment now, as the race is absolutely, as the rain is draining away quite quickly. Look at this, the two intermediate runners are now close to the back of the front runners. Well, Bradfield wants to get past Ayrton as quickly as possible, doesn't he? And look at that then, I could hardly see any weather dropping down now. I wonder if I might go from, oh, there's still rain out there. And now then, as Mike has passed Ayrton as well, and up into a second position. Ayrton dropping down, dropped down 2 positions on that straight as well, unfortunately, as those wet tyres said, it's definitely not the way to go. Then everything's on the intermediate tyres now, apart from the first and third. Oh my gosh, that, oh goodness me then. Oh blimey, that's quite a, the door was closing there, wasn't it? Beast has gone vroom. So, oh my god, Mike's bad luck again then. Yeah, I think Mike does have damage, doesn't he, on the McLaren then, but those intermediate tyres are still helping out at the moment then. So Mike has stayed out there, albeit with damage to his front wing. Back on board if Energetic said. Ayrton is struggling out on those wet tyres, and he gambled to stay out there as the track was drying out quite quickly. Cummings is up to 11th position. He's had a fantastic restart, hasn't he? Cummings was nowhere near the field, was he? He's been in the pit stop 3 times in the first 9 races, and camera races there, 3 struggling, and Energetics up in the third, then passes Ayrton, and Ayrton dropping down to 4th position. Look in the background then, there's a Velocity having a look there on the inside. Velocity is also up into a 6th position as well. Great drawing there from Velocity. Lovely stuff indeed. Then he is now then having a look on the inside as well, but not quite there. And not quite as one. Look at this, as camera race has been rolled foot by Ayrton, and now Velocity is up the inside there. Here's how lunch oh, Bradfield is in the wall. So it looks like that the wet tyres are just struggling now, and so he's gone in the same place as his teammate. And again, so Bradfield in the wall, not camera racer, I apologise. And he is damaged the car as well, so he is going to have to come in the pits as well. Bradfield is. Ayrton dropping down to a 4th position as well, as Velocity has moved up in 3rd. Ayrton's the only man who's staying on the wet tyres, but look at this, he is struggling. It's the Rembo dropping down the order as well. What's happened to Rembo? Rembo's also in the pits there, as I think that's an additional stop. Then Camaro is up into 4th position there, as Ayrton dropping down 5th. He's got damage on that front wing as well. And look at this, as Mars going up the inside there, oh, forcing his way through there, as a bit of banging wheels there. What's gone forward, and look at that, then they're almost in the wall there. Oh goodness me, I think it's just, you've got to pick the spots, guys, haven't you? Gosh, as they're going up the inside, then Cummings is on the outside. Ayrton has had a squirrel, and he has dropped down the order then. Camaro's now up in the 4th position there. He's got a Nunda is up in the 5th. Goodness gracious me then. Nunda up in the 5th, and Mars is up in the 6th, and Cummings is in 7th position, and he is coming up the field as well. Harley Whedon, and look at this, and absolute anarchy. Ayrton dropping down to 10th position now. The wet tyres is just not the way to go, is it? Now the Renault's almost in the wall there. Oh no, the Renault is in the wall, and who is that? That's Ayrton, and one of the Renaults is Roscoe. Ayrton is in the wall as well. All the wet runners are having issues there. Rembo's back on the wet tyres there, as so Rembo back on the wet tyres. Ayrton's having issues there. Stereogram is up to 12. Fantastic stuff indeed then. What about Roscoe, as he got damage to the car then? Oh, he surely has to have damage. He does have damage as well. Roscoe then touring on the outside of the circuit, and Ayrton and Roscoe unfortunately coming to blows then as well. Goodness me, what a start to the race then. Mike leading Energetic second. Velocity from 10th to 3rd then. He's not feeling well, but goodness me, his performance is definitely not lacking. Is it absolutely stupendous driving there from the championship leader. He is up in the 3rd position there, as he is navigating his way through the field absolutely as calm as you like there. Good stuff indeed there from Velocity, and that is why he's in the championship of bronze there, isn't it? He's absolutely incredible. Lap 10 of this race, and Camaro is back in the 4th position, but Nunda's now got a bit of a conga line behind him, hasn't he? He's got Maz, but Nunda, it's gone from 20th on the grid up in the 5th end, and I think that just shows how good the Williams pairing are, isn't it? Nunda has really been a surprise package this season, hasn't he? Once again, he is showing how good his performance has been this season. Mike has dropped down to 2nd, as Energetics has taken the lead of the Singapore Grand Prix then, as I feel if Mike hasn't got that wing damage, he would have been definitely in the running there, as really good, that's so disappointing, isn't it, from Mike there, as Ayrton's also got a 5-second penalty for for his shoulders as well. What a shame then. And now then Mike then is going to be feeling under threat again as he is out. Look at this, that is Mike there is almost squeezing Velocity into the wall then as Mike there defending for his worth there, isn't he? As of course he's damaged the car then, isn't he? This is going to allow Energetics then to pull away, isn't he? Of course, so Energetics has had 3 wins this season. The last race win Energetics was actually back in the Hungarian Grand Prix. It feels like quite a long time ago now, doesn't it? As Energetics has had a pretty difficult last couple of races, hasn't it? But it's good, but Energetics are back up there. Ayrton is in the pit. It's come on the pits on the intermediate tires. Rempo is still on the. It's gone back onto the wet tires. So Rempo, the only person on the wet tires. Look at this, and it's Mike is struggling so much now, isn't he? As we go over the Anderson Bridge, and this is going to help Camera Racer, who of course a minute ago I was I wasn't writing him off as such that he would have loved to have a dry race, but he could potentially come back on the podium here. As Mike there is, he is really at the back. He's really on his back foot now, isn't he? Mike is as Rempo is also back in the pits as well. She just goes back on the intermediate tires and as we see what we see where she can go from then, and she will need a safety car, I think, if she wants to get any points now. Then, Cummings, I think Cummings, Nunda, and Mazda is definitely getting very interesting indeed. There, I can't take my eyes off this bad moment. We've still got 20 laps to go. We ain't even halfway through this race yet. We've already had drama after drama after drama after drama in this race, haven't we? And now it's up to 4 seconds. Energetics is pulling away. I think Velocity is going to have to come in the pits here. He's going to have to get past Mike sooner rather than later here, because he's losing too much time behind the McLaren. And look at him there, he's all over the back of the McLaren driver. He's alongside Mikey. He's going to take second position. He's got to brake so much earlier. Oh, look at this, that is side by side. Mike, where is he? Mike has been forced onto the runoff. But Velocity is through. He is up into second position, but Mike has a very good run out of turn 3. But I think it will be job done. And look at all those drivers now starting to really home in behind Mike Dennis. And Mike is going to be on a single feeder as Stereogram is out of the race then. So he was up at a very high 11th position there. He's in the pits and he's just retired there. That's unfortunate for Stereogram, isn't it? He was in a very high 11th position there for Stereogram, so really that's not good at all. That's our 4th retiree then. DNS is for Brandon and Newman, and also we've also got Guna and Stereogram out of this race as well. Then look at this, Nunda is now in 5th position then, so Stereogram out of the race, left for session. That's not good at all, is it? And now then, Mike is going to be, as I've already said, he's going to be having that sinking feeling. D Ashley once again in top 10, brilliant 17. RD Whedon is in 9th position as well. Then, so RD Whedon is could be on course for his first points of the season as well. Then, so this is going to get very interesting indeed, isn't it? As now they coming out of the Anderson Bridge, and Cummings said, "Goodness me!" Then, of course, it was very bleak, wasn't it, a couple of laps ago? And now all of a sudden, he is now right in the thick of things, isn't he? And he is staring at a podium, isn't he? Look at that, and the podium which has a couple positions in front of him, isn't it? It is that orange car there as Camera Racer there once again defending from Nunda at the moment. I think Nunda got damaged there, because I'm sure he said he had damage a minute ago, and he has indeed, but he's got so much pace, Nunda hasn't he? He's been brilliant at this in this season. He really has. He's really come alive in the second half of the season. Well, good stuff indeed there from the newest race winner in bronze. He won last time out, didn't he, in the Italian Grand Prix in fine style, and once again there showing that he has got some amazing pace there in that win as well. Good stuff indeed there from Nunda. But look at this, as Mars there is all over the back there of the Williams drivers. Is this getting very light on the rear then, so we come across the line once again, and Mars having a look then, not quite then, as RDW is dropped down to 10 positions. D Ashley has now moved up into 9th position because RDW has had an issue. Oh no, and look at this, he's I think is he trying to come the pits? RDW then, oh no, also I thought he's going to get stuck there as well. Oh, what a shame for RDW then, and once again there I apologise to Hardy Week because I've given him a jinx once again, haven't I? But he's looking very good at that stage. But he's covering the pit. Said, let's see what he can do from then. From there, we're just coming up to half distance. Well, 3 laps away from half distance here in this race. So, well, he's on the medium tyres, Hardy Week. I'm not sure if the track is dry enough for that yet. But Hardy Week, of course, started this avalanche of pit stops for the intermediate tyres. But I'm not sure. I think it might be a bit too early then at the moment then. So as much as does that, where's Mike in the standings? He's currently 4th in the driver standings. No, yes, he's 5th in the driver standings. There's a couple of points behind this man who is 4th in the championship. No, that is Nunda. Of course, he's really snuck in, hasn't he, in the last couple of races. He's been absolutely clean. He's been absolutely consistent, hasn't he? As clean as a whistle, Nunda. Apart from the turn 1 of Monza, anyway. But of course, it's very difficult. A very difficult start to Monza, isn't it? Camera Racer getting very squirrely, isn't it? So now Nunda there down Raffles Boulevard on the outside. outside there. A camera racer. He is braked much later. He passes the Red Bull driver and moves up into full position now. Nunda just shown how mature he is behind that Williams wheel at the moment. Is he fantastic, isn't he? Nunda this season. And really good stuff. The potential might even get third position with Newman not scoring points today. I think that Nunda, the way he's going on the moment now, he potentially might be able to sneak in the third position and get a promotion into silver next season, perhaps. As we're now just watching Vals, who's all over the back of camera racer as well. There's a lot of strong drives out there tonight. It's really impressive stuff indeed there on this treacherous track conditions. A really good stuff indeed then. And as now Mike is going to have to start to fend off the man who's close to it, who's close to in the championship as well. As Nunda there is just getting on the slipstream. I wonder if the tyres are starting to cook themselves then, and if they are, oh goodness me, then he's got a very long way to go, hasn't he? But I'm wondering if these guys are now going to hold off and see if the track dries up further and go on to the slick tyres there, because it was absolutely hammering down. It's now light rain at the moment, of course, but I'm wondering if we might get slick tyres towards the end of this race as well. RDW on the slick tyres at the moment there. He is 12 seconds back, but he is losing time hand over fist in the Renault, isn't he? And now then we have got camera racer news now on the outside there, and look at this then in front then, and now, oh look at this, and he's going on the inside of camera racer. There's a bang wheels then, and look, camera racer's got the inside as well. Look, Mike and Nunda also just in front as well. Camera racer's got it too deep, and he's in the wall. Camera racer's in the wall there. Oh no, and he is it's a virtual safety car, but camera racer having an absolute heroic qualifying performance on the heroic drive, and it's not. Oh dear, oh dear. And there's going to be a lot of well, he's left the session, camera racers. He is out of the Singapore Grand Prix. What a shame now for the Red Bull driver. Both Red Bulls out of the race then, and really he deserved more than that, didn't he? Because he had an absolutely stupendous qualifying session, a brilliant drive today, and he's unfortunately he's going to get nothing for his efforts out of that. Is what a shame that is for camera racer. And but what that means is that's released these guys now onto the back of Mike, and Mike didn't really want that, did he? Because of course as we're back green here in Singapore then, as so really then Mike is because camera racer was kind of a roadblock as such, wasn't he? But as he was struggling with the wet weather conditions, but I think he was going to really start to shine as Cummings is off the circuit there, and oh dear, has he damaged the car? He has damaged the car. Oh dear, then it's and look at that, yeah, he has damaged the car. Not good at all, is it, for Cummings there, and he's going to have to come in the pits there. I think he's done 4 stops so far, Cummings. That's goodness me there, and I think that might beat Gunner's record of 9 at the moment, but Cummings that is such a shame that it's too early for the dry tyres, isn't it, as RDW is showing. And look at this then, as Nunda is all over the back, isn't he? And Forza's in the pits. Well, I wonder if they've come to blows then, and they have indeed. But I think Nunda, with damage to that wing now, is showing that he is absolutely incredible, isn't he? With that broken front wing there, Nunda is driving out of his skin, out of his socks there, and out of his racing boots. He's doing a brilliant job, isn't he? And Mike has got similar wing damage as well. You can't ever judge damage like as you can never judge damage. There might be more damage on the McLaren than the Williams at this stage of this proceedings, and he's on the outside of the McLaren. He is on the outside of McLaren. Mike there gives us a squeeze, but Mike is still in front of him. Nunda has the no, he doesn't there as we go into turn 8 then. Nunda's still in front at the moment then. Oh gosh, there is now his camera racer is coming to the pits on the dry tyres. Interesting stuff from camera racer, but that's his AI. And also RDW then is now he's gaining on the AI as such, and so we'd be interested to see what RDW can do then on those dry tyres. Roscoe's also got on dry tyres. Well, maybe I am speaking absolute rubbish there, which is not the first time. It won't be the last time either. But yeah, DRS has been enabled. I'm speaking absolute gibberish, and so yes, it is time for dry tyres then. And I've got to say, RDW once again, he's got an absolutely incredible feel, hasn't he, on the car there? RDW definitely, oh, look at that lockup there from Nunda. RDW is absolutely fantastic in these weather conditions. He knows exactly when the weather conditions are changing there. He knew that it was time for intermediate tyres before anyone else did. He knew it was time for dry tyres before anyone else did. Absolutely stupendous stuff there from RDW then. And I've got to say, every time RDW comes to the pits and change tyres, I'm not going to question that whatsoever. Race leader is in the pits, and so Energetics is in the pits for the Alfa Romeo team as well then. And energetics, velocity in the pits as well. Mike and Nuno are going to come in the pits, and they're going to change their front wings. And I think the front wing damage might hurt them more in the dries than what it would in the wet. Then, as velocity, energetics is now on the medium tires. So is the medium tires. And for velocity as well, they just got to hope that it doesn't get wet again out there, because it is still raining. And Diashi's got a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pits. On board the Williams driver, Nuno, McLaren mechanics in and now going to work. But they got a 5-second penalty. Remember, that is for the overtake under the safety cars, and now he's on the medium tires, and he's also changing the nose cone on the McLaren. So Mike will be dropping down the order then, as the Williams haven't got a nose cone at all at the moment, has they? And now they're going to work then. Oh, there we go. As now Nuno also going on to the hard tires until the end of the race, and the Williams driver is that as Curly Red is staying out on the intermediate tires at the moment. Nuno now out, and away he goes then. Sean Armour's also on the medium tires as well. Cummings is just come the pits, hasn't he, and replaced that front wing. So he's got completely fresh intermediate tires there. It's just not going at all well for Cummings, is it? Oh my goodness me, there he's doing a really good job to keep battling back up for the field there. Here's Ardy Wee then, and Ardy Wee is going to promote back into the points, hasn't he? With his expert choice of tires, he has been absolutely amazing tonight, hasn't he, Ardy Wee? Really good stuff indeed. Then I got to say, he is. I'm going to ask him for the lottery numbers. Absolutely fantastic stuff. But I think Ardy Wee, it's all about the feel of the car, isn't it? And I think it's an outstanding performance there from Ardy Wee. Really impressive stuff. And got to say, then he could potentially be covered tonight as well. And can he stay in the points then with just under half the race to go? Then it's still raining out there, of course. Then, but it's so humid, isn't it, here in Singapore? There, isn't it? So that's why the rain needs to be quite heavy out there, doesn't it? For the track to be wet there, as Roscoe's now all over the back there of the McLaren driver then. So of course we've got a lot of ghost cars out at the moment. We've got lost Camera Racer, Newman and Brandon. We've also lost Stereogram and Guna as well. Energetics right up against the wall, and he is now starting to really put the hammer down, isn't he? Because Velocity is edging out over him at the moment. As Mike has got past Cummings and moved up into 6th position as well. Then Curly Red is also on the intermediate tires. That's one of Curly Red might come in the pits at the end of this stuff as well. I'm really impressed actually with the tyre conditions. The tyre choice set, and now up in the 7th position goes Nuno there as well through this short straight. Oh, he's in the wall. Nuno's in the wall. Then he damaged the car. No, he's okay. Curly Red in the pits, and Sean Amers now to 8th position as well then. So Sean Amers had a nightmare start there, but he's back up in the 8th position. Lovely stuff indeed then. Curly Red into the pits then, and he's also going to the hard tyres as well. And also changing the nose cone as well. There's a lot of wing damage out there tonight, isn't there? But Curly Red then changing the nose head now. It might also dropping down. It is going to drop down. Ardy Wee is up to 8th position. This is his best performance of the season thus far. Ardy Wee is, and it's just his expert choice of tyres. Rempo has got a 3-second penalty, but she is not too far away from the back of the field now, is she? So she's quite close to Bradfield and Co as well. As now Cummings coming out of the pits as well. Cummings is going to be in 11th position, I think, with Roscoe and Ayrton at 12th and 13th then as well. Ayrton was leading this race, wasn't he? Not too long ago. Now he is all over the back of Roscoe. His teammate has just come out behind him as well. Cummings then. So Mercedes and had a bit of a difficult race at this stage of the stage of proceedings as well then. Gap is down to 4.8 seconds then. Energetics then is going to be under a lot of pressure then, because the championship leader is really on one now. He's down to 4.7 seconds. The man who's on the pole, who's 10th on the grid there, I should say, is now then going for his 5th Grand Prix win of the season, his 5th Grand Prix win of his career as well. Oh my goodness me, fantastic stuff indeed then. Oh gosh, sir. So as much saying, only 3 out. That's impressive. So Gurman want to get off them inters. So yes, indeed. Then as everyone is now on the dry tires, aren't they? Mixture of hards and mediums tires. Jake Wilson 4-0. Mane. It's all about the Mane. I love it. And we've also got Sir Smith saying Rempo's going to beat your stock record, Gunnar. Of course, I think Cummings is also doing a good job as well with the pit stops, isn't he? He's been in the pits, I think, 4 or 5 times now, hasn't he? Gosh, so let's take a look at the pit stop, shall we? If I can find it. I don't really use the pit stop. Taking a look then, 5 stops at the moment for Cummings. Goodness gracious me, Rempo's been on 4 as well. A lot of pit stop action out here tonight, isn't it? Good stuff indeed there. If you like your pit stop action, you're loving this race, aren't you? So we're just watching Sean Amers now. It's noon down. Oh, is Hammers there. It's just gone to the back of Nunda and punting him out wide there. And I think Sean Hammers there letting him through there. So being very gentlemanly indeed there. Nunda showing his appreciation there. That's absolutely beautiful sportsmanship as well. Would I have done the same? Probably not then, but that's because I'm not a nice person. Nunda now Sean Hammers has got past Nunda, and Nunda's back down 7th, and Nunda was probably liking the wet conditions more than the dry at the moment. Having said that, Nunda is on the hard tyres then, so these tyres might come back into play later on for Nunda, so we'll keep an eye on Nunda. But I've got to say, from 20th to 7th position, doing a great job. Both Williams drivers there once again showing what are leading the Constructors' Championship, doing a fine job indeed then. We're down to 15 cars in this race, haven't we? We've lost 3 drivers in this race. Camera Racer was having a fantastic race, wasn't he? And Ayrton is now through and up into 11th position. He passes Roscoe, and he is on the medium tyres. The next target is Curly Redforest, and can he salvage a point then? And what has been a very kind of a race of up and downs. Went from cloud 9 there down. It went from cloud 9 to down into the middle of the pack there quite quickly, didn't he? Unfortunately, which is such a shame. Rainbow is now in 15th position as well. Look back at the battle here, and now Energetics start to kind of stop that gap from closing there. As I think Energetics wondering if he was just harvesting some energy a bit there from Energetics, and maybe just trying to calm it down in the car perhaps. But yeah, I think that would definitely have given Energetics a bit of a fright, especially to see Velocity back up there as well. Energetics is second in the World Championship as Cummings almost gone into the back of Roscoe as well. I say it's completely dry there now. The rain has completely stopped at all. We've gone from completely deluged monsoon weather to light rain, and now to beautiful humid weather in Singapore, isn't it? And of course that is probably why they went on to dry tyres so early on, because Singapore can be very humid, can't it? It's very close to the equator, isn't it? And of course similar region to Malaysia as well. We all know about the weather in Malaysia, don't we? We've had some amazing races up there in Malaysia. 2001 for example, where it absolutely poured down with rain, didn't it? And Ferrari there were on the intermediate tyres, everyone else on the wet tyres, and it was an absolute masterstroke, wasn't it, from Ross Bourne, Michael Schumacher and Rubens Barrichello. And also 2009 as well, the last time we had a half points race, wasn't it? Where Jenson Button won as well then. So yeah, and we're not far from Malaysia, are we, here in Singapore? Because we've only ever had one wet race in Singapore, wasn't it, which was back in 2017 as well. As Cummings there, side past Roscoe. Roscoe's on the hard tyres at the moment. So again, like Nunda, he might be back in the action later on this race. So do not count out Roscoe either then. Well, both Mercedes are 11th and 12th for this moment of time then. 15 cars remain, then we're about 12 laps away from the end of this race then, and this race is also going to be extended even more because of this wet weather. And also we had a safety car as well. Jake Wilson, Yotta 5-0, goodness me. And I gotta say, I think I'm going to be watching some of those highlights later on today, because I'm going to be absolutely unblasted. And unbeknownst to me, goodness me, how did I miss this? And I gotta say, you need to sack me, don't you? But Diassi is having a third. My gosh, that's a brilliant performance there from Diassi. He is, I gotta say, he is just like RDW. He is absolutely tamed the weather conditions, hasn't he? And of course, sometimes you're in the hands of Mother Nature. But tonight, I think it's RDW and Diassi who have really judged the weather conditions to absolute perfection. And Diassi, over the past couple of races, has really been building himself confidence, hasn't he? And now tonight, he is having the third position at the highest he's ever run in an ALR bronze race before. He is doing an absolutely splendid job, but he does have Masters, Mike and Sean Hammerstead going to be coming at him, so this is going to be a long final part of the race then for Diassi. But let's see what the Haas driver can do then, and of course let's see what this man can do then. Serious Mercer said I missed that as well. Diassi, yeah, he went right under the radar, didn't he? Diassi did brilliant stuff indeed there. RDW is still in 8th position, well, and those two have been outstanding tonight, in my opinion. They've been really good, haven't they? And good stuff, along with Nunda and Velocity. But of course, that's kind of standard stuff now, isn't it, for the Williams drivers? They're so good, aren't they? Whatever conditions, whatever drive, whatever track, whether it's Monza, the fast-paced Monza, or the high downforce of Singapore, as Nunda was in a 20th position there, Velocity in 10th position, now not 2nd and 7th, and they're just phenomenal, aren't they? They're really good drivers indeed then, both those guys are there. But they're on board then with Diassi then, and I've got to say, really good stuff there from Diassi, right up in the podium position. from them. Can he stay that out? So down to 11 laps, and Diashi, as I've already said, now it's going to be the longest end to this race set, but brilliant stuff from the Haas driver. Good stuff indeed. I think that might be Haas's first podium of the season, if I'm not very much mistaken. Now, so good stuff indeed from Diashi. On board with Cummings, who is now right underneath the gearbox of his teammate Ayrton. Velocity has now got the gap down to 3 seconds over Energetics, as Velocity has now got about 10 laps to get past and overtake Energetics and win this race. Can he do it? Can Energetics hold him off? And Velocity has been like a steam train this season. I think he's been absolutely phenomenal, and he deserves his championship lead so far, because he's been brilliant, hasn't he? Fantastic stuff indeed there. Going over the start finish line again, then just keeping an eye on what the Mercedes do. We've also got to keep an eye on Mars and Diashi. I don't think Mars has been on the podium before either, so Mars there is also starting at a podium position there, and a strong drive from Mars there. Of course, he's only got 19 points this season, Mars has, but this is going to be very good, isn't it? And he's got good pace as well. But I think Diashi's not going to let him cruise by, is he? Mike is also catching quite quickly as well, as Cummings is up the inside, passes his teammate Ayrton, and is now up into 11th position there. Is Ayrton down into 12th position then. Oh gosh, back on board then with Mars. I think the Mars might be feeling the strain there of Mike in the background. He's about 1.7 seconds away from this battle here then. So Mike there is the quicker of the three cars at this stage of proceedings then as well. So I think Mars is going to have to really get a shift on, isn't he? Oh, he's got a 3-second penalty there, and Mars has and I'm not sure about Diashi's penalty. We'll have a look at that later on. But yeah, that might help Diashi there. But now look at this, and Mars is all over the back of the Haas driver. He is now stripped through. He's up into 3rd position. Mars is through, takes 3rd position. Now Diashi down into 4th position there. But the way Diashi's going then is, as long as he keeps it calm and cool, he should be able to get some major points in this race. And so Diashi there just needs to keep focused, doesn't he? Now there'll be some more points in the bag then for Diashi there. I gotta say, it's been the real surprise package in the last couple of races. Diashi has brilliant stuff indeed there from the Haas driver. Into the pits comes Artie Wee, and that's a shame for Artie Wee, isn't it? Because Artie Wee, is he damaged the car? And let's just take a look then. And he's put on the soft tyres. No, he isn't. So it's a strategy call there from Artie Wee. He thinks soft tyres at the end of the race is going to help him out then. I wonder if it might have been best for Artie Wee to stay out there, as Mike almost in the wall there as well. 2.3 seconds the gap is now, isn't it, between Energetics and Velocity as well. The gap is coming down quite quickly. I feel that RDW might have thrown away some points there, unfortunately, just like in Spain as well. I hope not. I hope for RDW's sake he's going to light up the time sheets and get himself back up there. But I feel that that's quite a big arse in the final stages of this race then. 15 cars still remain, and getting great stuff indeed there. Gold only had 10 cars finish on Sunday. Well, I've got to say, bronze, silver, the attrition rate hasn't been as high, has it? Now Mike then is coming up to the back of Diash as well. And Diashi then, I must apologise to Diashi, because he's been floating around in the podium for quite a long period of time, hasn't he? And it just went, it was completely lost on me. Brilliant stuff indeed there from Diashi, and at the moment, and he's my draw of the day then. Velocity in Nunda has been brilliant stuff, but I think Diashi has been outperforming himself and the car tonight. Brilliant stuff indeed there. Absolutely fantastic. Mike though is now within DRS range. Nunda's got a 3-second penalty as well on those hard tires. The hard tires need to start to really make that mark in the next couple of laps, otherwise it's going to be a waste there. The same with Forza and Curly Red as well. The medium shot runners of Cummings and Ayrton are now also starting to bear down those medium runners of Nunda, Forza and Curly as well. Roscoe is also on the hard tire as well, and that's also not working out for him either. RDW is coming to the back of Bradfield. Remember, Bradfield was very high up the field as well. He started, I think he started, didn't he start? He's definitely started in the top 10, didn't he? I can't remember who started where in this race. It's been such a long one, hasn't it? This one has, as we already mentioned, there's a race of endurance. It really is said indeed that. Mike getting back up there too after things that's happened to him there. Yeah, Mike is doing a good job indeed there. I think Nunda be disappointed that it stopped raining when it did there, because Nunda was all over the back, wasn't he, of Mike then when it was raining there, because with that wing damage it didn't matter to Nunda at all, did it? He was flying out there with that wing damage. Brilliant stuff indeed then. But I've got to say, Diashi's doing a great job, isn't he, of keeping with Mars, because Mars has not really pulled away from him, because he's still in DRS range at the moment. Good stuff indeed then. Mars are on course for his first podium in the season. Lovely stuff indeed there. But I think Mike and Diashi also wants that podium position as well, and Sean Hammers is also 7 seconds back from this battle as well. There's a lot of things still to be played out, including the race lead as well, which is Energetics and Velocity. Once again, the old rivals are going to be very close to each other. The gap is now less than 2 seconds, and Velocity is now almost within DRS range as well. This is going to be a very good finish. It's going to be a very tight finish, isn't it? Whatever happens here in Singapore, and look at these Acura cars. This is great stuff indeed. I'm loving this, and races like that, I really enjoy races like this as well. It's great to see the likes of Diash up there. It's great to see the likes of Maz up there as well. It's some really good stuff indeed. It's also good to see the talent of Velocity coming through the field. It's also, and also Nunda as well coming through as well. Lovely stuff indeed. And it was also right at the beginning as well there as Ayrton, both the Alpha Taris, and I think it was Curly Red staying on the wet tires there. That potentially could have been a absolute masterstroke, wasn't it? But we seen that weather was slowing down when the safety car came out there, and RDW, the first man to change tires, but I feel that the last tire strategy might have been one to stop too many for RDW, unfortunately, but he's had an absolutely spectacular race as well. Lovely stuff indeed there from a lot of drivers out there who've drove the wheels off their cars, haven't they? They've been really impressive stuff indeed then. And once again, then Velocity is now 2 seconds away from Energetics, isn't he? As I'm wondering if Energetics has just been harvesting once again and just keeping, managing the pace, managing those tires there. Energetics, as remember, he is a experienced driver in bronze, isn't he? Was here last season. He was here this season as well, and he's had 3 race wins there and 7 podiums this season alone. Energetics, as he's only not finished 2 races as well this season, and Diaz has got a 3-second penalty as well. And hopefully I got to hurt him too much. And look at this, the gap. The first 2 on a league of their own. It's over half a minute now. Look at that, 38 seconds the gap is between Maz and between Maz and Velocity. Impressive stuff indeed there. Absolutely mega stuff there. But Diash Mike then is really hot on his heels, isn't it? Sean Hammers is still 7 seconds back at the moment. Sean Hammers just hasn't got just can't really make any inroads on this battle at the moment, can they? As we've got a yellow flag there, is one of the Renaults has had some issues there, and I think it's RDW, is it? And RDW there is RDW then has he got damage to his car? And he has got damage to RDW. What a shame now. He was looking. I think he's had a very good race, and that is such a shame. What a disappointing way to end the Singapore Grand Prix for RDW. He had a great race in Spain, but I think this is his best race. Well, just his cause of coming in the pits there was absolutely outstanding. It really was indeed there. Just watch there as Gunnar saying fingers crossed, Darren, as Mike is Mike is still in 5th position moment, but but he's also stuck behind RDW at the moment as well, as behind Diashi and Maz at the moment as well, and you can see it's a bit of status quo around here at the moment there, and I'm wondering if I was going to now that Mike hasn't just cruised up to the back and tried overtaking him straight away, I think that now Diashi's got himself into a rhythm, hasn't he? And it's now started to really get into the groove on the back of Maz. But having said that, Mike is very close down the Raffles Boulevard now, isn't it? But is he going to have a lunge on the inside? Not quite then. But Diashi's gone wide. Diashi's gone wide. Is he clipped the barrier? Has he damaged the car? No, he hasn't damaged the car, but he's lost the position. But luckily he hasn't lost more than that then. So Diashi there, that was a bit unfortunate for Diashi, but so he's lost the position there. But he is still he's still on his best on course for his best race finish of his career in ALR. He just needs to keep it out of the water. He needs to keep the thing on the straight and narrow as well. Make sure he minimises the penalties. But Mike has now been in full position then. His next target is Maz. Can he sneak on the podium? Mike can. And of course, and this will be valuable points in his championship campaign as well, of course, as he is in 4th position. He's down to 5th position at the moment, and he would not. But still, he would eat into the lead that Nunda's got over him at the moment, won't he? But it won't promote him back up to 4th position at this stage of proceedings, because Nunda is still scoring 6 points there as well. So lap 26 out of 31 then. And once again, Velocity is starting to come back at Energetics as well. And I think that we're going to keep on that battle now. Let's take a look then. This is the 2 heavyweights then battling then around Singapore. And here they are then, 1.6 seconds. There he is in the background now. On board with Energetics. He had a supreme pole position lap. Was that the best pole position lap of the season? I'd like to hear from your points of view then, but I think that was a mega lap from Energetics. very close to the wall as well. So Energetics there, it looks like he is pushing, where he's on board with him. He is still pushing, isn't he, as hard as he can. So he has just changed the engine mode as well. There is a Velocity in the background now. They have both done 10 laps on the medium tyres, haven't they? So in terms of performance wise, they're both equal, aren't they? So who's going to take the victory then here in Singapore then? I have no earthly idea, but this is going to be a cracking end then to what's been a cracking race as well. It's been absolutely entertaining, hasn't it, from start to finish. And Cummings is now into 10th position now, and he is now gained on Curly, and potentially Cummings could, after the shenanigans he's been a part of, I think they'd be very happy to get into the points after what because I think the first 2 laps he was in the pits in the first 2 laps, wasn't he? So I think that Cummings will be very happy with that performance here tonight. Lovely stuff indeed. Then is Darren has just said, "Come on, Diashi." He is still Diashi's left for session. Oh no, Diashi has left for session there, and that is not what he needs. And of course, the ALR is going to take over. But look at this, and he's already lost time. Look at how much time he's lost. Ayrton is left for session as well. What's going on here? And I'm not sure. I hope we haven't got a massive connection there. This disconnection at this stage of proceedings there, with not a lot left. And AL has lost connection. He is absolutely. Oh no! And into the pits there comes Cummings as well, as he's had a 3-second penalty. Why is Cummings in the pits? He's onto the soft tyres there with a couple laps to go. And I'm not sure. And Energetics is left for session. What is going on then? And we've got some kind of issues going on here. And this is not good at all, is it? And this might be a golden opportunity then. And oh gosh, there indeed, this is not good at all, is it? And I hope I don't jinx anyone, but. This is not good, is it? We have lost 3 cars out of this race in the matter of moments. We've lost Diash, we've lost Energetics, and we've also lost Ayrton as well. Then 3 cars have gone in the matter of moments. And what is going on here? And look at this. And this is an Energetics. And is he hasn't even got a defence. I think this is such a shame, isn't it? Velocity has taken the lead of the Singapore Grand Prix, and that is not the way we wanted that battle to go, did we? It was great to see Velocity hunted down Energetics. We wanted to see a battle royale in the final couple of laps as well. Diash has dropped down into 6th position as well. This is absolutely heartbreaking for all 3 of those drivers. And Energetics has lost a potential lead. Ayrton has lost a potential point, and the same with Diash, who's lost a potential 10 points. What is going on then? And this is not good at all, is it? Oh dear, oh dear. Now Velocity is leading this race at the moment then, so he's just overtaking Energetics. Energetics, if he comes back in the session, should be safe in 2nd position. We've only got 4 laps to go. Mars is at 42 seconds away at the moment though from 2nd place man. And as Serious Mushroom saying, Mushroom saying stupid code master as well. That is not very good at all. That's ended. Gunnar said that has really ended a good race, doesn't it, here tonight as well. And Sean Hammers is left for session as well. I'm not sure what's going on with this. And we have now lost 4 cars as well. We've got a yellow flag as well. And it's Nunda. Nunda's got some issues there. And he is now on the back foot then. Nunda's on the back foot as we go down into turn number 7 as well. Yellow flag and free as one of the as a Velocity is letting Energetics back through then. So yes, I think that's very sportsmanlike there from Velocity. As very good stuff indeed then. So Velocity looks like he's staying behind Energetics, and he knows what's going on then. And AR saying, "Oh my gosh, that is so sad." It is, isn't it? Because this man, I think, has been my driver of the day, to be honest. He's been absolutely stupendous, hasn't he? Him and Oddy Wee have been brilliant, but I think that Diash, he was in 3rd position for more often than not then, and he was fantastic, wasn't he? Went on the radar, under the radar as well, didn't he? And I think a lot of people probably, I didn't even notice him up in 3rd position there, I got to say. But Diashi, I am absolutely gutted for him. I really am. Then it sucks there from Diashi there, and Serious Much saying great job as well. I'm absolutely distraught for the guy, to be honest. I would have been distraught for Energetics as well, but Velocity, got to say, very gentlemanly here, isn't he, tonight? Letting one of his closest championship contenders back in front as well then. So good stuff indeed then. And look at that. And there's Nunda and the Fry are bearing down on Diashi as well then. What a shame then. Cheers, much saying good job, Velocity. Great sportsmanship. Yep, that was absolutely fantastic from Velocity. Look at how much time they've lost. So they've lost 12 seconds then. So I've got to say it might be as Velocity has left the session as well. Now that's 5 or 6 drivers that have left the session. Now of course now this is going to get very interesting at the final stage of this race as well. As look at this, as Forza's up the inside of Nunda now. In Forza's past Nunda. Sorry, has passed the Ferrari. No, he hasn't. No, Forza's passed the Williams. I'll say moved up into 7th position as well. Now 6th position there. As Nunda's also up into 7th position as well. And this is becoming quite a mass disconnection at this stage, isn't it? Usually, well, we've done on to 5 or 6 drivers. Top quality from Velocity there. Credit where credit's due. Fair play to him. Yeah, very fair play as well from Velocity. Of course, he had that race in the bag, didn't he, Velocity did? Well, I think, well, of course, before Energetics left, it was nip and tuck between Energetics and Velocity. It really was, wasn't it? And then Energetics left, Velocity took the lead, and then Velocity realised what happened. He dropped back, and he let Energetics retake the lead then. So absolutely hats off, then. Good stuff indeed then. The Serious Version reckons that Rembo's going to win then, as Rembo's now in the 13th position now. So we have lost 6 drivers. We have lost Energetics, Velocity, Sean Hammers. We have lost Diashi. We have also lost Ayrton and someone else as well. But there's a lot of drivers that have disconnected randomly. Mars is down to 20 seconds then, and Mars potentially could win this race at this stage of proceedings, and this will be his first race win of his career, of course. Then, but it might be a bit overshadowed then, a bit like Mika Häkkinen's first race win in Jerez back in '97 there. I don't mean to rain on this parade, and I've got to say we've had a lot of rain here tonight as well, but of course then the gap was 42 seconds, wasn't it, between Mars and the front two? It really was, wasn't it? So them two had it all on the bike then. And as giving that 1 point, Roscoe, of as Diash there is, I think, just about to be overtaken as well. I think it's talking of that 1 point. I'm sure that far from saying about everyone's going to get 1 point for just finishing the race then. And they've got to say then, and not really encourage everyone, because he had 15 cars before that the mass disconnection here. Absolutely, what a shame indeed. Then we'll find out to see what is going to be happening as well then. And then, of course, I'm just on a read now to see what is occurring, and we'll find out what happens at the final stages of this race as well. But my heart goes out to all the guys that have disconnected then, because I don't think it's a problem with their connection. I think it's a Codemasters issue personally. But that is just my opinion. And saying I can't believe my connection is fine. Codemasters or PlayStation. Yeah, I think it's a Codemasters or PlayStation issue. We have lost 6 drivers there, and there is a potential, but of course this has to be decided by the admins. Remember, in the real world of Formula 1, if there's a red flag, they take the result from 2 laps before. So I'm wondering if that might come into conversation then, perhaps. But we'll find out about that at the end. And of course, do not take anything. Do not take my word for it, because I am full of rubbish there. No, I've got to say, I've got more rubbish than the bin, really. But from a sporting context, and I think that Mike has left the session as well. Yeah, I think that confirms it, really, doesn't it? Mike has just overtaken Mars for 3rd position now, and then Mars has just re-overtaken him as well. This is appalling stuff. It really is. It's PSN now, according to Diash there, and surely it should go back to the lap before mass connection. Sean Farr's trying to talk to you. Am I? Is he? Well, I'm ignoring him. No, just taking a look now. Let me just have a quick look to see what is occurring as well. I think that it might go back to lap 27 or 28 then. Perhaps then is when we might get the final result as well. Velocity saying I'm not taking them wins. GG to Energetic. Get hats off to Velocity, you remember, because Velocity, before he got disconnected as well, let Energetics win as well. I think that this race is going to be shrouded by a controversy, I think, then. But I think Energetics has won his 4th Grand Prix win of the season. Good stuff indeed there. Velocity, a great sportsmanship, and he will finish 2nd today as well. I think that we are going to be taking the result back from lap 27 or 28, perhaps. So even though they're coming across the line, then there's going to be a lot of sorting out to do for the admins, and I'm glad I can just put my feet up and just relax as well. But that's a shame, really, isn't it? But because there's a lot of great drives out there, and to be honest, I I'm going to give my drive today then to Diashi then, and I think that he was superb today. And yep, I'm not taking anything away from him as well. Total peas, madness. It really is, isn't it? AL saying it's a joke, to be honest. As it really is indeed, isn't it? But there we go then. Yeah. So I think so it's the end of lap 26. I'm reading that from the admins. Lap 26. There were people started leaving on lap 27. So Farf is going to sort it then as well. And I'm just going to keep an ear to the ground then and hear what Farf is going to say about it. Said, well, it doesn't matter because Diashi just won the Grand Prix. Fantastic stuff from Diashi, and really good stuff indeed. Then of course I think that might not happen now for Diashi, but he might be able to get fifth as well as Cummings there. It's just parked there into the wall, and I've got to say that's probably the I think that really sums up his race, really, doesn't it? But well, sure. I think what a race it was. I'm lost for words, to be honest. Absolutely brilliant stuff indeed. Indeed, there. Serious question, Diashi driver today. Absolutely, hats off. Diashi saying thanks, Sean. I appreciate that a lot. Then, congratulations, energetics. Well done, my driver today. Indeed, then. Yep, Diashi getting driver today. To be honest, I think I would have given it to him anyway. Fantastic stuff. Noonday unlucky for some people, as really good stuff indeed. Then they should take it back. Yes, we are going to do that as well. So I've been told to cut the stream. So I will cut the stream then, but brilliant stuff indeed then. So we're going to take it back from lap 26, I believe. Then we'll sort out the podiums next week. We apologise for this, guys, then, as some dodgy stuff going on then. But yes, we will. But yes, of course, we'll be back in a week's time, as we'll be here for the Russian Grand Prix. And yep, so we'll see you then. Goodbye.